Hello, YouTube. Is there anybody out there that's still awake? We shall see shortly. Oh, I see myself on YouTube. So I guess we are live. Awesome. Poppy 1300. Hello. Thank you. And boy, you are up awful late. I'm doing good. Just I couldn't sleep, and so I thought I'd jump up online for a little bit and say hi to anybody that was still around. How are you doing, Poppy? I see you in coining around all the time. William loves seeing you in there. It's good to see you in here, Poppy. And you are a moderator, so have you changed your name? Or was I just really drunk when I moderated you? I wonder if I can... Dang, I wonder if I can put music in the background without... No, I probably can't. I'll try. I'm going to try to put on some White Bat audio in the background. White Bat audio is awesome. Let me see if I can turn the volume up on that and turn the volume down on my live stream and turn the music up. Oh, I think it's going to work. Yeah. That works. I can have White Bat audio. Hold on, let me. Darren Gray, hello, welcome. I just got bored. It's getting really late, and I'm just not ready for bed yet. It's just I can't fall asleep yet. So I thought I'd go live and see who was awake. We had Poppy show up for a minute. Now you're here, so that's freaking awesome. Hey, Darren, how's that? How's the sound? Does that music come through good? And do you hear me good, or do I need to turn it down? It's good? Right on. Thank you. Yeah, this is White Bat audio here on YouTube. It's supposedly free music that you can stream without getting copyright stricken. So not that I'm worried about getting copywritten. I'm not monetized, so it doesn't matter. Nobody will ever really rewatch these live streams once I do get monetized, if that ever happens. So Music it is. I just gotta try to figure out, the level of the music, the sound, so it doesn't interfere with what I'm saying, but still has something going on in the background since I don't have anybody to really chat with. So if the levels are good, that's good. I need to try to pay attention to where they're at. Let me see. So y'all can't sleep either. Is there anything on your mind, Darren? Hey, should I put in a StreamYard's link? That might take me a second, but I think I can. Damn it. I always forget how to do that without actually losing my StreamYards. Hold on. Share. Okay, I'm still here. Looks like we still got Poppy Poppy, and we did have Poppy Poppy and Darren Gray. Somebody disappeared, looks like. Looks like I'm down to one. Oh no. I'm gonna go into my Google real quick. And I dropped myself the link. So let's see if this works. Yes. So somebody did want to jump up on here and chat with me. We could chat for a while. So like I said, for some reason I'm not ready to go to bed yet. It's late. I mean, hell, it's almost 2 o'clock in the morning here, but work got called off again for tomorrow. I'm just like, okay, whatever. Most of the day I laid around on the futon, listened to music, just was being really lazy. So I kind of halfway napped most of the day. So now I'm not ready for bed. Guess it's a good thing I'm not working tomorrow, but I really need the work. So that kind of sucks. I'm surprised, Poppy and Darren, you're the only two I've been seeing this evening. I figured I would have seen more people by now, but it is awful late. I don't think I've ever went live this late before. Mm. Hold on. Let me go put in my fake teeth. Mm. Yeah, Darren, if you roll a vehicle, that's not necessarily a good time to try to go to work. Great Scott! Yo, yo, yo! Welcome, buddy. Oh, shit! Tupac showed up. Hey, Tupac, You see, there's a StreamYard link. Just, well, look, shit, over there? No. Yeah, over there. StreamYard link. Is that better, you guys, if I've got these fake teeth in? I guess it looks a little better on screen, doesn't it? I say, yeah. Yeah. I'll have to wear these whenever I go live, I guess. I'll just have to try to start getting used to them. Maybe I'll wear them more often. Because, I mean, I can still talk decent. And actually, it sounds like I talk a little bit better with them in place. At least once I've had a couple of drinks. Oh, come on, Tupac. You can hang out for a minute or two. Yeah, these fake teeth. There's some things you can't say quite right. Yeah, Darren, the mustache kind of hides it a lot of times, and I take into account that they're missing, and so I purposefully try to have a position in place where you really can't see that my teeth are missing. But it's still annoying. I'm not used to them yet. I guess I gotta try to wear them more and get more used to them. But I'm sure I do sound a little different with these in. And it's weird. Sometimes it seems like I sound a lot different, like compensating for the fake teeth. But like right now, it seems like it's not too big a deal unless those S's are in there, and then that kicks in. But might have a little bit to do with the drinky drink. Darren Gray, no, V nickels really aren't worth anything unless they are in immaculate condition. I got a whole bag full of them. I mean, they're kind of cool just because the age, that's basically a barber nickel, but they really don't hold any value. Well, Darren, the first time I found one, I found a V nickel, and I still have it, and it was in such terrible shape. It wasn't even funny. I mean, I could barely see just the hint of a V on the back of it because I found it in a spring. And it took me quite a few years to figure out what it actually was. And I was really excited about it when I found it. And, I was just a kid, but yeah. And then I learned that it was just a shield nickel or a V nickel. And I was like, oh, well, it's kind of disappointing, but it's still kind of cool. I found one. And recently I wound up, I think, buying some off of eBay or something, but I wound up with a whole bag full of those V nickels. And yeah, they're actually quite common, but condition is everything with those from what I have seen. If you've got one that's like looks like a a pretty good condition nickel, it's going to be worth a bit. But just like a pocket nickel, that's a V nickel, they're a dime a dozen. No, Darren, I'm just talking about I I wind up calling the standard V nickel a shield nickel. I don't know why I do that, but that's what I call it. But yeah, the V nickel, I guess technically is a barber nickel, I believe. I'm not 100% on that, but I wish I had one of you guys want to come up here and chat with me. Yeah, I might not have a true shield nickel. And I don't think I have a trime or a thrickle. For some reason, I think I bought one at one point in time. It might be in my coin collection, but I can't remember if I got one for sure or not. Damn it. Now I need to make another drink. Damn, Darren. Um, hey man, if you want to send me an email with your information, if you want somebody to chat to sometime, let me know. I had no idea that you were having issues that bad. But hey, I don't mind if your camera's on the side angle. I can deal with it. And hey, it's StreamYards. You don't have to have a video showing. If you can come up and just chat, I'm down with that. You can have your camera off. Phone can just be lying beside you and just be using the microphone. I I mean, hmm. I don't know what to say, Darren. I mean, I'd like to know more, I'd like to understand the situation that you are in, but I don't know if that's something that you want out there in public, you know, and I can understand that. Wow. See 1 through 7? Holy crap, dude. That's, I mean, isn't that like every cervical vertebra? But you can still drive? Wow. That's crazy. Wow, Darren. I don't know. Really? You can move your arms, but not your fingers? That's kind of interesting. I wonder if you might eventually be able to get that use of your fingers back. I mean, if you got use of your arms, maybe eventually your nerves can regrow to get dexterity again. But wow, I don't, I don't know if I don't know how I could live. I mean, that would be so difficult for me individually. You know, sure, I spend a lot of time just sitting on the computer, so I mean, I could probably get used to it, but I grew up being an outdoors person and hiking and climbing and doing all kinds of shit. And for something like that to happen to me, I don't know how I could ever live. You know, it would be so difficult for me to overcome the shock of not being able to use my body. I've I've thought about that a lot of different times, and I don't know. It would be so hard. Yeah, you didn't completely tear the spinal cord, so and I mean, if there's movement in the arms, it's like, is there a possibility for you to eventually be able to use your fingers again? I mean, can you? I wonder if mushrooms might help with that to an extent, even though they're more working with the brain, not spinal cord system. I don't know if they would, or if they might have enough interaction that it might help a little bit. But I would think if the arms would work, maybe with enough work, you might be able to get feeling back in your hands and fingers. I don't know. Yeah, Darren Gray. I'm a carpenter myself. That's what I do for a living. I build houses, remodel houses. That's what I do. So I understand. I mean, but if you really understand that aspect, and if you absolutely cannot use that, go into designing or something like that. What works and what doesn't work when it comes to construction. So if you can't physically do the construction, maybe you can focus on doing the architecture, and designing a building and say, hey, we can do this, but it'll only work if we do this. Because as a carpenter, that, hey, some shit doesn't work. There's only certain things that you can do. There's only a 2x6 will only cantilever so far. There's you might have a different aspect on going into design and engineering and architecture if now you are not able to be a carpenter. So, look at other aspects. There's always something. Sorry, I got to look at chat for a minute. Yeah, Darren, I'm reading what you're saying in chat, bud. So yeah, I'm a perfectionist. But yeah, again, if you can do certain things, even if your hands can't work the best, you might still be able to be like a cut man on a high end crew. If you can still get that cut perfect, just because your fingers don't work right, if you can still work that chop saw because your arms work, if you can figure that out, you still got a chance at continuing that. But like I said, if you're that much of a perfectionist and that good of a carpenter, you can just wind up getting a position using your brain and not having to use your physical attributes anymore. If you know what needs to be done, you can read plans. You can say, okay, well, you've got 13 feet 6 inches on this wall of the kitchen. You need these cabinets and these spacers and whatnot, and have everything figured out to the T and exact measurements. And you can write it all down and send it and let them cut it. You can be that architect and that designer. And now that you are that designer, you can let your creative abilities go. That I know as a carpenter, I've had amazing ideas. And I'm sure you've had amazing ideas of things that can be done on a job. Just little things. Well, if you focus on being the architect and the designer, you can make that happen. If you've got that ability and the talent, go for it. Push for it. Hello, Juan Velasquez. Sorry there, buddy. I get off on tangents, Hey, Juan, you want to come up? Exactly. Hey, Darren, there is a huge market for that right now. Huge market. You can capitalize on that. I'm telling you. Fucking go for it. I mean, there's no reason not to do it. You've got nothing left to lose. I mean, I hate to state it that way, kind of an asshole way of saying shit, but you've got everything to gain, and you've got the knowledge to make those gains. You can do it if you push for it. And again, what's the downside of trying? There's no downside. Yeah, exactly. And you can even remodel current buildings and make them accessible. Or you can even create like tiny homes that are handicap accessible. there's so much that as a carpenter and knowing what works and how you have to build things, and then being able to be like, okay, well, all I have to do is, rather than a 36-inch counter height, well, I'm going to make it a 24-inch counter height. And I'm going to have all my counters overhang by 16 to 18 inches so that a wheelchair can get under it, so that everybody can have full access. You have the knowledge, the experience, way more experience than I have, especially with your condition now. You can do, oh man, there's so much that you can do right now. If you got into designing and building the blueprints for those homes, because you know how to do it, you know what needs to be done. I mean, you could do homes, you could do apartments. You know, there is a, reminds me of a joke I remember, but I'm not going to say it. Time for me to go outside and smoke part of a cigarette. Y'all are going to come with me, but I got to put on my jacket first. No, there's, you you do have an opportunity that you can, you know, really take advantage of. I believe it's, you know, and I hate to state it that way, but that's exactly what it is. Because you, with the experience you have before your accident and before your injury or whatnot, if you can combine the two and use your injury as, oh damn it, now I can't think of the word, um you know, it's, I don't want to say an asset, but you might understand what I'm trying to go for when I say that. You know, that's a whole other aspect. Your brain looks at carpentry and at construction a completely different way now, I'm sure, than somebody like me. You think of stuff differently now. You see it differently. And that gives you an edge on me. You have something that I, you know, a mindset or a, dang it, how do I want to say that? You've got a viewpoint that I do not have. You know, if there's, you can see things like, hey, this is not going to be accessible or this is not going to be plausible, that I cannot see. You know, and I believe that if you could capitalize on that, because you can see it from both sides. You can see it from the carpenter's perspective, and then you can see it from the accessibility issue and say, hey, you know, this isn't going to quite work. We can tweak it just a little bit this way, and it will work. And that could make you a whole business, if that makes sense. Sorry. No, but Darren, like I'm saying, you you don't have to focus on what you need and what you know, on little tools like that. You can focus on accessibility and knowing how to build a home. You can combine the two and be like, hey, we got to have a ramp here, or we've got to have, you know, yeah, like you said, if you're remodeling home and making home specifically for somebody that's handicapped or in a wheelchair, let's say, you can design a kitchen where things are at the right height, or the drawers are easier to pull, like oversized handles or whatever might be needed. But you've got a viewpoint on it that a standard contractor will never see. So you could specialize in customizing homes for people that need that accessibility. And you could find a niche in the market that nobody else can fill, if that makes sense. Sorry. Colton Charisma. Nice. Yeah, exactly, Doug Harding. And now that would be very helpful for people that were in, you know, had a lot of issues. Yeah, you could have railing along the ceiling. But again, you understand that as a carpenter, you have to have, structure to support the railing. So, if you want to get into something like that, you have to figure in that structuring. Like, okay, we're going to have a railing that goes here, here, and here. And we've got to have cross supports and extra bracing to support that, because you don't normally have somebody hanging from the ceiling. So you've got to have the supports and the bracing within your ceiling, wherever that track is going to be, in order to carry the weight. But you can see that, whereas other people can't. Where it's needed. Yes, Doug Harding, thank you for showing up, bud. That is a great point. I love it. Yeah, Darren, I've done it all as well, bud. I understand. Yeah, digging out the foundations and footers and leveling out ground all the way up to putting on the roofs. I've done it all. Yeah, but Juan, most of yours are not kicking and screaming. They're already cold. Or no, that's somebody else, isn't it? That's Jose. Still, Juan, you got to hit a stud or a truss or a rafter or whatnot, because you're not just going to get screw into sheetrock and allow a human body to hang from it. Not going to happen. You got to hit something solid. Yeah, and track systems, again, yeah, that's a great idea. And if you have that in mind when you're designing a place, you can have in place braces. And extra support in your trusses and joists and whatnot to carry that system throughout a house, whereas the common person isn't going to think about it. You know, if you've got somebody that still has enough, you know, ability to like cook dinner, but yet they can't get around on their own feet. Either you've got to create a kitchen that is, you know, only accessible to them, or you can make something like a cradle system that's hung from a ceiling, and that's a great idea. But again, that's where you might look into getting into designing and architecture rather than actual construction, since you can't do that anymore. Or I don't know, you might be able to do a bit of it still. I'm not sure on all of the abilities you still have. Yeah, Doug Harding, and they're building exoskeletons. They've got them. They're still in development stage as far as I know, but they've got them. Yeah, Darren, most of the times those were screwed into studs. No, one, the labor wouldn't necessarily be more cost than mats. It's just having and knowing the placement of it for the initial construction. You know, if you know for a fact in that your construction everything's like 16 on center or 24 on center, or you've got extra braces in certain places, you know, you can factor that all in. Damn it, I gotta make another drink. Still not ready for bed. But to put a couple of extra 2x4s or 2x6s or whatnot in a ceiling, in between a couple of joists, you know, at a certain distance apart, really doesn't add much to how much the overall job would cost. I mean, you're talking very small amount of time, very small amount of materials added to a project. You know, you could say, okay, well, down this hallway, you know, because the direction the trusses are running, and you got them 16 on centers, so you need, you know, to every 8 inches or so, you want to put an extra support just in case, depending on where the supports are needed for a track system, right? And you say, okay, well, the track system only needs supports every 4 foot apart. So that's really not a big deal. So you get, okay, every 4 foot on in between these rafters, I have to put an extra brace. And it could be a flat brace, just so there's a place for the track system to screw into and to have support. And if you know that and it's there, it's not a big deal to put that in. I mean, you're talking a 14.5 inch board every 4 feet. Big deal. You can cut a bunch of them and just throw them up. It takes no time at all. I overfilled my drink. Spilled all over my keyboard. That kind of sucks. Exactly, Doug. Interior zip lines, basically, but you got to have support for the zip lines. You got to have those anchor points, and that's all it's about, is having those anchor points. And if you figure out how far apart they've got to be. You just figure that in, and you put that into what's got to be done. It's not a big deal to add those extra boards for anchor points, just like you would add extra boards if you're building a kitchen and you know where your primary screws are going to be. So you put bracing in between your studs so that you've got screw points no matter where you want to put a screw in. You got a 18-inch cabinet, then a 30-inch cabinet or whatnot. And you can figure that upper section of that cabinet, you just run a board all the way in between your studs so that you've got permanent, steady connection no matter where you're at. You don't have to try to find a stud. Wherever you want to put a screw, it's going to have good solid backing. And it'd be the same thing in a ceiling with a track system. And Juan, you can cut a board twice, but that's why if you screw up a measurement, make sure you're always an inch longer than you need to be. But yeah, if you grew up, if you did a lot of work doing construction and then unfortunately wound up paralyzed, I mean, you can still use your brain and use that experience as a carpenter to create a business on making other homes more accessible. Somebody's in the oh shit.
What's going on, brother?
Hello, Juan.
How you doing, man? It's been a bit.
Doing good. Here, let me turn down this music in the background.
Right on, right on.
How you doing, bud?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. I didn't get to go to poker tonight because the guy that runs the game, he got the beer flu. So, and then there were like 3 or 4 other of our regulars that weren't going to be there. And he called me and is like, you can come because I normally deal. And I was like, dude, normally we have 8 to 11 players. And I was like, there's no point. And I'm like, just cancel it. And he was like, oh my God, thank you. And he was like, thank you for telling me that. That's what I was thinking. And I was like, yeah, no, just call everybody, tell them we're not going to have a game this week. So, yeah, here I am on Wednesday night.
So, okay, well, wait a minute. Where's this poker game? What's about a poker game? I'm curious now.
Every Wednesday night, I play poker at Buddy's house. We have a little tournament.
Oh, and, so it's not a YouTube thing.
No. It's just friends hanging out. but it got canceled, and it hadn't been canceled in freaking forever.
Ah, that sucks. Is it like penny ante poker? Or?
No, it's like buy in for $20. You can rebuy until the first break if you go out. We get a few $100s in the pot, and then first and second split the money. But it's just a reason to hang out, have fun, play a game. You know,
What kind of poker do you play?
it's Texas Hold'em.
See, I grew up playing like a 5-card draw poker, you know, at like hunting camp when I was a kid, and it was like penny ante poker. And it was like,
Yeah.
you know, like a $5 buy-in or something like that, but it was all with change and, you know, like a maximum of like a 50-cent bid.
Oh yeah, no, this is no limit, all in tournament. And there are nights when people get in there and they get crazy and they're like, I'm all in regardless. And then like 3 or 4 people will be, I'm doing it too. And I'm sitting there going, nope. I'm looking at my cards before I do anything, you know?
Yeah.
Those nights are fun because the pot gets big, and when they're playing stupid like that, yeah.
No, yeah, poker can be fun. I haven't played in a long time.
I typically play once a week, at least like live in person.
My brain, I mean, it would take me a while to get into it. After my seizures, I lost a lot of brain capacity. And I really haven't played poker since then. So it would take me a while to kind of build back any ability to play poker.
Yeah.
You know, and try to, you know, remember, you know, what cards to keep, what to get rid of, when to bid, when not to bid type shit. It would take me a lot to regain that, because I haven't even looked at that since my seizures, and so it's all gone.
Yeah, and just and I mean, in all honesty, just depending on where you are, like as far as long-term focus, it's definitely something that could have an impact on your game.
Well, we'll see. Before I had seizures, I basically had a genius IQ. When I wound up having my seizures, I was in a coma for a couple of weeks.
Right.
I was having 15-minute plus grand malls in the intensive care unit. The hospital called my parents and said, hey, if you want to see your son alive, you better get here now, because he's never walking out of this hospital again.
Yeah.
And it was actually a roommate that I had at the time snuck in my dog and turned my dog loose on my bed, and he brought me out of my seizures. 3 days later, after he snuck that dog in, 3 days later, I walked out of that hospital.
Wow.
And I've gained most of it back. I mean, I can function normally. I basically have no issues anymore with functioning in society. But as far as where I am now, as where my brain functioned before my seizures, I will never get that back. Never. You know, I was on a different level, and it will never come back. But
I wouldn't say that, man.
I can't complain about where I am now. Well, see, that's why I'm thinking about trying mushrooms. Because they say those mushrooms can.
Fucking A, I would. 100%.
They
For
say
your
the
situation?
psilocybin mushrooms might fix the brain problems I have. Like if I ride with my boss to a job site,
Right on.
unless we are working there like on a regular basis and steadily for like a couple of weeks, if we just go there once or twice, and then my boss asks me to go there like 2 weeks later in my own vehicle, I don't know how to find the place. My brain didn't. It's like my brain figured out a way of, if it doesn't think that it's going to be a commonly used piece of information, it deletes it. And I've got no control over that. It's just a way my brain kind of reacted to the seizures, and I was kind of like overloaded. And it said, okay, well, at a certain point in time, we're just going to eliminate information that's not going to be used on a regular basis.
Well, but at the same time, Robert, I mean, there are places, there are routes that I've taken, 2-3 times, and because I followed them using navigation, if you were to ask me to take them again, I'd be like, well, we're lost.
Yep.
So, I mean, don't look at it necessarily as it's just your brain. It's because you don't know the route. You're not taking it. You're not driving, which driving it and knowing where you're going without navigation, at least.
Well, but the thing is before my seizures, you could have taken me to that place one time, and 6 years later, you asked me to go to that place, and I would remember how to get there.
Depending on where it is and
what
the
the
route
fuck
you
was
have
that?
to take. I'm sorry. It was a notification on my phone.
But yeah, no, before my seizures, like I said, I could remember the craziest shit. And like I said, you take me someplace one time, and 6 years later, I could find that place again if you told me to go there. But now,
well, depending on where it is, though, let's break it down like that. And because I'm trying to read chat as well as we're speaking, and Darren saying that he can't do mushrooms because he can't control body temperature. I don't know how those correlate, so maybe that's something we can speak about in a minute.
no,
But,
yeah, that's
but,
that. I
but
love that thought, Juan. Mushrooms
but
with body temperature. That's curious. I want to investigate that too.
But
go ahead.
As far as like traversing in a vehicle, there's a difference between going somewhere that's 30 minutes away and somewhere that's 2 mile or 200 miles away, and going through back roads and different turns and everything. I mean,
but see,
for example, when I go to visit my godsons,
when I was a kid, that wouldn't have mattered. I would have remembered every turn.
No,
without knowing the distance or anything, I would have been able to direct somebody there. Now,
there's a difference.
I can't do that.
There's a difference. There's a difference because, like, and the reason I say that is that as a child, I knew going from Houston to Livingston here in Texas, it was like 100 and something miles, maybe 100 miles, 89, 104, whatever. But there were markers in that
right,
in that
like
journey
that. Right, like a dilapidated house, and you take a right at the next road after that house.
But as time goes on, those markers change and things evolve, so that when you become an adult and 20 years later, you're driving down the same road and you're like, nothing looks the same. I don't know where I am now.
Well, that's
and you think you do. And you can get, I'm sorry,
that's a little different than that dilapidated house still being there and you driving by it and not remembering it.
Right. Right. But if you're going to think about the dilapidated house, maybe seeing it would spark a memory. Anyway,
but you might also come across 3 other dilapidated houses and you're sitting there thinking,
that. Right.
Is that the one? Is that the one?
So, I mean, don't feel so bad about it, is what I'm saying.
It crushed me. Oh, Moto Mining, welcome.
Look, it's not an abnormality.
It crushed me, though. I mean, I lost so much.
You know what? You were a genius. You became fucking human. Deal with it.
Basically, and I don't know how to deal with it. Fuck. That's the problem, is I don't know how to fucking deal with it. It made me fucking human.
Moto Mining, how you doing? Dude, honestly, I think that you're still quite an intelligent man.
Well, I appreciate that. Oh, looks like we might have somebody in the background.
Right on. Bring them up.
Hello, brothers.
Darren!
Freaking thank you
Karaoke's
so much.
over and the drive home begins.
Your karaoke nights make my Wednesdays ecstatic, dude.
Hey, as long as you had a good night playing poker, did you have a good night playing cards tonight?
No, my brother. I didn't get to play tonight because our host, he caught the COVID.
Oh, darn it.
Yeah, so we had to cancel our game tonight. So I was.
Well, you guys could have just decided not to kiss one another. That would have been just fine too.
Yeah, well, we typically decide that every Wednesday night. You know.
Try to keep that up. Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah. But no, you had some great singers up there tonight, and I actually I added a couple of songs to my list that I'm gonna start trying to practice, and yeah, I always love it, man. I always freaking love it, Darren.
An almost unreasonably busy room, honestly.
I stopped in for a second. I stopped in for a second, and the people that were singing, I was like, "Oh no, I'm done."
Yeah, that happens.
But it seemed like maybe 20 or 30 minutes before closing time, everyone left.
Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens.
Okay.
Hey,
well, I mean, I'm sorry.
Dimebag.
Bus schedules and whatnot. Yeah.
Dimebag Darren.
Yes.
What? I want your opinion on what you would think, how well Opus Singer would do with Marty Robbins.
I think he could do a good job of that. Why not?
I fell in love with a Mexican girl.
I think he could definitely do that.
Because I love my Marty Robbins.
That's the only one I can do.
That one, obviously, I've heard that song. What are some of the other Marty Robbins favorites?
Oh, The Master's Call is one of my all-time favorites.
The Master's Call.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows El Paso. And Marty Robbins actually did a sequel to El Paso, which is kind of funny. It's like him flying in a plane over El Paso and talking about it, acting like he, remembering being down there. But yeah, Master's Call is an amazing song, and I think that's one of my favorites from Marty. I mean,
is it spiritual?
A little bit. But that's like Marty Robbins when he did things like White Sports Coat. I mean, completely off base of what he normally did, but he just blew it out of the water.
I'm all alone for the dance. I know that one. What other ones would I know besides the White Sports Code and the other one?
Well, you don't know Master's Call, but you do know
No.
El Paso. So,
Yeah.
What about Little Joe the Wrangler?
No.
Oh my God! Yeah, you got to listen to some more Marty Robbins.
Maybe so. God, I mean, which
If you,
but honestly, I mean, dude, he's not making more music. It's not like we hear it all the time or we think about it all the time. But
he's
yeah,
been
I probably
he's been
should,
dead for a long time.
like I said, in all honesty, all I know is El Paso. But I remember listening to it growing up, and like every now and then, and it's been years since I've done it at karaoke, but
Well, Big Iron. See,
love Big Iron.
Big Iron's one of my favorite songs because I can remember like being like 5 years old, and me and my older brother, we would be listening to Big Iron on vinyl, and I still have the same exact record. The record I listened to at 5 years old, I own.
Wow.
And we would, when Big Iron was playing, me and my brother, when it said the swiftness of the Ranger, we would actually quick draw.
That's freaking awesome, dude, that you can remember that kind of stuff, man.
We would be playing against that record and we would try to outdraw each other. When it said the swiftness of the Ranger, when they were having their gunfight. Yeah, I remember that so clearly. And I still own the exact record that we played that to. And I've got like 3 other copies of it.
You know what? Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead, Darren.
I just got to say hi, Moto Mining, but go ahead, Darren.
I came across a Stanton EL680 cartridge that I used to have that I bought specifically for DJ work. It's made for vacuuming and whatnot. But of course, I don't have a turntable anymore. I don't intend to have one. I don't think I do anyway. Know anybody who's interested in an old styly stylus?
I've got a half a dozen working. Well, currently where I live, I only have 2 working turntables. And I have about 1,000 records in my tiny little trailer.
Oh my.
And I have about 5,000 records out in storage in Tennessee. Everything from I have 78s. I have the old, the ceramic Victrola records. I even have 16 2/3 RPM records.
Have you spoke to History Man? He loves those.
No, I'm a collector.
The Shellac 78s. He's a big fan of those.
Yeah, I got plenty of 78s, plenty of 45s, plenty of 33.5s, but I also have 16 2/3. I love all of that kind of media. And
was 16 2/3 a very huge record? Is that what that was then?
No, it was about 3/4 of the size of a 33 1/3 RPM of a standard record. It was about 3/4 of the size.
See you, Doug.
It kind of had a funny, size central piece. I don't know what the fuck it's called. A 45 is kind of big. A 33 is, like a little more than a 1/4 inch. Whatever it attaches to. It was a little different size. The 16 2/3 were primarily used in like cars when they had the record players in cars. Or back in the 40s, you had like the religious organizations that were driving around and broadcasting religious propaganda or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
And that was a 16 and 2/3 RPM record. And I have some of those records.
Do you remember radio stations? I have been to some vintage radio stations, and they had some platters that were huge, so much bigger than the biggest record I've ever seen.
I don't know what that is, and now you've got me very curious. I want one.
Yeah, well, they were really big, like much bigger than a 33.
Really?
And I still don't know what they were exact. That's why I thought the 16 would be the large one, but it's small. Because as we got smaller, we got faster, right? We went
Yeah,
from 33 to 45. But this
Well, the
is slow.
16 and 2/3 that I have are kind of like the old Victrola records. They're a little bit in between a 33 and a third and a 45 in size.
Well, but the
And they have a little hole in the middle.
the
Yeah,
smaller,
but there's still kind of a small hole in the middle.
the smaller would turn slower, though, wouldn't it?
No,
Because the grooves are closer together.
no, size really doesn't matter as to how fast it spins.
Well,
How it was
depending
cut.
on how it's
When
cut.
it's,
I
how
mean,
fast it was spun when it was cut.
Exactly.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. How
45's, 33, 78, whatever, that's how fast it's spinning. But that does not really technically talk about the size of the record itself.
Well,
but
yeah. But obviously, the larger the record, it's going to have to spin a bit faster than it would if it were a smaller record. Just to
to an extent, I mean, think of a 45. It actually spun faster than a 33. And it was a lot smaller.
right. Yeah, because if you play it on the 33, it's really slow.
Hey, any of you guys ever play with solar yet? Any kind of solar panels in your life or anything like that?
No, but I would love to make an organic record player using like a rose thorn as a needle.
I think a cat claw might do well.
I would think a cat claw before a rose thorn, because I would think a rose thorn is more fibrous than a cat claw.
A cat claw would last longer.
Oh,
But I think as far as being fibrous and the way that the vibration goes through it, whereas with a cat claw, it's a solid object.
You could probably file a nice point on a cat claw.
I had never thought of using a cat claw in place of a rose needle. That's a great thought.
Well, my fucking cat's been cutting me to shreds, so it comes to mind.
God dang it! So you're gonna pull his claws out?
That's a great thought. I want to make
That's a
now.
good idea. That's a good idea.
Now I want to
Fucking
use a
cat.
cat claw instead of a fucking rose thorn.
Well, but make it a bigger cat too. Maybe a puma or a cougar.
A jaguar, freaking.
Hey, we're talking records. We're not talking slabs of sandstone.
We're talking snowplow here. That's a little foggy night tonight. I don't really see much ahead of me too far.
Yeah, I see that.
A little soupy.
Yes,
But am I
moto
highway?
mining. I have not actually been able to play my 16 and 2/3 RPM records to see the quality of them. I have the records that are in good shape, but I do not currently have a player that will play them. I have a couple of players, but they are broken.
Well, when it comes to records, though, I was always under the impression that the more that they were played, the weaker the quality got.
Oh, yes. If you overplay a record, yeah, they'll wear out.
So
I mean, you're
regardless
looking
of-
at-
I mean,
Well, think about it. You're looking at a fucking diamond needle that's grinding against a piece of vinyl.
Right.
You know, you've got little pits and little jigs and jags in a piece of vinyl.
But would a slower speed take away less or more? Because because
well, now
you have to think about friction as well. You have to think about friction.
I love where you're going with the friction idea. I love that thought and that idea. My only I lost my lighter. Hold on.
If you play a 3-minute song and it's going,
God damn it,
1,000,000 miles a minute, whereas you play a 3-minute song and it's going very slowly, there's a huge difference there. Anyways,
the faster the media passes the needle, the higher frequency you'll be able to put into the recording.
Okay, here's my thought on what you're talking about on that aspect of it.
Go ahead, man. I'm gonna take a look real quick.
We have a different medium. Like when it was a 78 RPM, those were basically ceramic. Okay, you're talking a lot harder medium that needle is reading.
Shellac.
So the 78 records, because they are basically like a ceramic, like you can take a 78, you drop it on the ground, it's going to shatter like a fucking dish, like a dinner plate.
They're made of shellac.
You know, and it changed. Even the early 33 and a third or whatnot RPM records, like our normal records that we recognize now, their early forms, they were more pliable.
Brittle.
Or more brittle. Yeah, sorry. Now they're more pliable. Back then they were more brittle. They were harder.
Yeah, they're more rubbery now, more vinyl-y.
Exactly. Now they've got a little more flex, a little more pliability. Back in the day, they didn't have that. So, depending on the age of the record and the medium that you're talking about and the speed is going to vary. That is one of those that's very tricky to actually measure, because the wear that, those ones back in the day, honestly, because they were harder, which makes them more brittle and more susceptible to breaking, means they were less likely to break down to like scratches or wear and tear because they've been played too much, because they're a different medium, so they're going to play a little bit better for longer, whereas our modern stuff is weaker. So the more you play it, the less playable it becomes. It does wear down.
Something I learned that I thought was pretty important when I learned it. In order to squeeze more grooves into the records as they progressed and make them longer playing, they made the angles of the groove walls deeper. So if you're playing old records, you have to choose the proper needle that has the right angle on the groove walls. Because if you use the old style needle or the wrong style needle, you really make a mess of any old record, because the needle doesn't match the groove angle. And it's completely different. There's two different groove angles. One that was used for 78s and one that was used for 33s and 45s. And if you don't swap the needle over when you swap records, you're damaging your records.
Ooh.
But at the same time, Darren, couldn't that go for any record as it's cut?
Well, no, there's a set, like picture a valley that comes to a point at the bottom and there's a set angle. That angle is held, right?
Darren,
and that angle,
would that have to do with an age, with a certain time frame on when the record was made as to what the angle was?
Well, yeah, but you'll know it. Like if you have an old enough turntable, you'll have a needle that is actually double-sided, and you can flip it over. One side will say 33, 45, and the other side will say 78. It's literally
I-
two different needles.
I do have some needles. I have a whole bag full of old school needles for record players, and yes, some of them are double sided.
Just research that before you wreck a bunch of records on yourself.
Yar. That's a very astute point.
But how does if like let's say I put a 78 on a modern record player that can turn at 78 RPM, with a needle that plays pretty much everything, how is that going to affect that record, and how long will it take to actually damage the record?
It doesn't mean that it's not going to be audibly played back, but it does mean that it could very well not play back well and definitely damage the album. And believe me, there are tons of articles on it. Just like if you were to Google right needle to play back old records, it's a known thing. You got it. Just like Google it once, and you'll probably get 10 articles.
Well, like I've got a pill bottle that's plumb full of needles for like a Victrola. You know, they're like almost an eighth inch thick little metal spikes that are for
we're not
Victrolas.
talking about that. We're talking about a real magnetic stylus for a record player.
And,
like, again, that would play a 33.
I've got a whole bag of diamond needles that are for different record players. What I'm curious about is if, like, I've got a record player and a needle that is designed for it that plays all variants, like 78 to 33 to 45 to 16 and a third or whatnot.
It's
how
not
is that
that
needle?
It won't play them. It'll play
Right.
them. It'll just damage the ones it wasn't made for because it doesn't match the wall angle. Picture something that's a 30-degree angle and you're putting in a 45-degree diamond cutter. Well, it's going to cut its way along, and it's going to make a mess of things.
Yeah, I would like to learn more about that.
Yeah,
Google
it's a very
it.
interesting
Google's
thing
your
because
buddy.
there are a lot of
I
dynamics to
promise.
it. And what,
Very physical.
but what I'm thinking here is that even back like in the old days, how many companies were producing needles, and what was the record cut with?
The record was pressed, right? Records are pressed. A master is cut on a metal master, and everything else is pressed out of a moldable vinyl or shellac. And whatever the master was cut with, the angle has to be matched. There's a standard. This isn't
Right.
willy-nilly. Previous records were cut with like a 30-degree bevel, and you need a 30-degree needle to properly play them back. And then they were cut with like a 45-degree angle, and you need to, and it's not quite exactly like that, but it's basically exactly like that.
I understand what you're saying, but what I'm asking is that, like, how many companies back then were making the needles for records, and where was the quality control standard?
I've got a question.
Was one.
I've got a question. How can you tell, looking at a record, whether it be a 33 or a 78, how can you tell what angle of a needle that you need to play that record properly?
Once you're dealing with a 33 or a 45, those are modern enough that they have the modern angle. But once you're dealing with something that isn't a 33 or a 45, chances are that it's cut with the old style angle.
Hello, Mick Johnson. Okay, so I'll basically have to have two record players set up, one that can play the 33s and the 16s and the 45s, and one like for a Victrola. So you're saying like a Victrola, like the 78s and stuff like that, they're going to have a different
I'll tell you this much. In my bedroom when I grew up, I had a cabinet that would open up, and inside there was a radio and two turntables, all built into one piece of furniture. It had a shortwave and AM for the radio. It had a turntable with a little platter that played only 45s, and it had a separate, different turntable that played 78s and 33s. And I learned how to play accordion on lessons that were on 78s. I played them on that machine. But again,
So what you're
that
saying
machine
is
had
that
a
you can play
flip
the
stylus.
accordion.
I recently sold it, but yeah, I only ever had a small one. But
Yeah,
yes,
I
I
kinda-
learned how to play accordion.
Yeah, I've got like 3 console record players in Tennessee that are, the consoles are no good, but the record players are still salvageable. But I don't think I have a single one that has 2 record players on it.
Yep.
I don't think I've ever
Yeah,
come
and the
across
record-
one of those.
The record player for the 45s had a tower in the middle that was big, like a 45 center. So you didn't have to put any centers in your 45s. This was a record player designed to play 45s, and it had like a tower in the middle rather than a post.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, and you're talking about one of those that automatically switch
Oh,
the
yes.
discs.
Yes,
Yeah.
and on both of them were automatic. The small one and the big one, both fully automatic. If you pull the little arm over that sits on top of the stack of wax, you know, the one that rests on top, keeps
Yeah,
everything straight.
it would change the records. You would play like you could have 10
Drop 'em
records
down.
stacked up, and it would just play one side of each record.
Now,
Just
here's the thing about records. They're purposely made a little bit of thickness in certain spots so that when they fell on one another, they wouldn't grind the actual grooves. There's a safety built in where those parts never touch.
oh
Never
really?
knew.
Yep.
Huh? That's cool as shit.
Yeah, he's a freaking wealth of information, isn't he?
No, I know. I've got
I never knew that.
I've
I
got
never fucking knew that,
thousands
dude.
of records. I've got like 6,000 records, but I didn't know
But
that.
that's why they kind of, as they're playing, you see them move a little bit.
Oh my God.
Motor mining 45s are kind of great when you just want to hear one song at a time. And like Darren was talking, you can get record players where you could have multiple 45s set up, and it could play them one after the other on,
No. But back
depending
then,
on the
listen,
side.
we wanted to hear the same song over and over again because back then, that one song was it. That's what it was all about. So
Yeah, but you
You
had
would.
record players that you could put on repeat.
yeah. The arm comes up, goes back over, and it starts the song again. And you're like,
Exactly.
yeah, we're doing it again.
I can think of one of the very first 45s I got to play on that device that wasn't one of the old records it happened to have with it. Do you remember the DeFranco family?
No.
Heartbeat, it's a love beat, and when we meet, it's a good sensation. A heartbeat, it's a love beat, and when we meet, it's a celebration. That's how stupid and gumball the song was, and that was the first. That was the first single I ever owned to play on that device.
That sounds like it was a ripoff of Love Train.
Well, I don't know about that, but it was very, again, DeFranco family, Heartbeat, it's a love beat.
Sounds like a ripoff of Love Train.
Maybe that part.
Love Train, little love
Are you
train.
kidding? They're all Americans. If it was a true ripoff, somebody would have sued somebody by now.
No, you got to remember, back then they
boy.
weren't all
Okay.
too happy.
Yeah.
You got to look at timing. They weren't all butthurt about somebody else using their beat.
Well, because they didn't know back then. until it came out. And then they were like, wait a minute, that kind of sounds like what I was doing.
Well, what was it? After all these years, they're still talking about how Led Zeppelin sounds like a band that opened for them briefly and played some song. Their Stairway to Heaven sounds like this other song, whatever. Whatever.
Yeah. I think they actually paid off on that.
You know what? There's Zeppelin. They got lots of dough. Share a little out then already. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm sure it never hurt their lifestyle one little bit.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't.
It's probably all the money made by those guys in the other band ever too. The way the business of music works, so fucking fickle.
But you,
Hey,
you know what? If somebody
instead
took
of
their
music, does anybody want to talk about vaccines?
Sure, I'll
Nope.
talk about it.
I have them all.
I have none of them.
I've
So
got none of them.
what difference did it make?
So, hey,
Seriously, I've had them all, and the boosters and the whatnots, and what the fuck difference did it make? I
Hey,
got
Darren.
COVID, and it was like a bad headache, and it went away.
Darren,
Yeah.
let me
Yeah.
ask you this. You've had them all, but which brand, which manufacturer? Was it Johnson
I've had-
& Johnson?
You know what?
Was
Up in Canada, we didn't fuck with those idiots, Johnson and Johnson. But I've had one of every other kind.
Well, the Pfizer's is, as far as I know,
Yeah.
the Pfizer's the one you got to be afraid of.
I've had the Pfizer, I've had the Moderna, I've had one other.
Maybe go get yourself checked for some freaky fucking clots that aren't actually blood.
Freaky clots that aren't blood. I'll let you
Yeah.
know.
Did you see?
Yeah, you're talking about the white string shit that's showing up in people.
Yeah, Juan, you know what I'm talking about. The shit
Yeah.
that come out in that
What?
documentary.
What happened?
No, I've not seen a documentary, but I understand
Oh,
what you're talking about.
Oh, fuck yeah. You got to look
three
up
or
the.
four doctors on YouTube that are in different parts of the world, actually.
Well, there's a documentary called Died Suddenly. Look it up. And most of it is people that are morticians, embalmers, people like that. You know, like when you embalm a body, you cut into like the jugular vein or whatever, and you put in a hose and you start trying to flush fluids through the body. And fluids weren't,
Motomining. Zeppelin
Fluids
is
weren't-
not overrated. You just aren't into them. But listen, motomining. You can say Zeppelin is overrated as much as you would like, but for
Oh.
as huge as they are, and for as many people that like them, they are definitely not overrated. They were culturally a significant force in music. So you
Yes.
can't say that they're overrated, my brother.
yeah. Well,
I don't really entertain that line of thought unless the person is a musician, and then I take it to the music. We analyze the details about
Yeah.
why a person doesn't care. Because I'll tell you, they're super complicated and hard as hell to replicate. If you think that it's easy to play Led Zeppelin, you're absolutely wrong. You may not like it, but it's complicated music and it's well written. So
and
that's how I think, you know.
And I have to add something to that, Darren. I cannot play an instrument, but I am a lyricist. And so I like lyrics. So Led Zeppelin, they are not overrated. When you factor everything in, yeah, absolutely not.
You know what the beauty of it is, though? The beauty that there's still people in the world who like something, and then you like something different. And that's all there is to it. And that's why we do what we do, so that everybody can get the thing that they like, and enjoy it.
Absolutely.
You know, absolutely. Now,
And
there's a reason why
nobody's
Led
that blown
Zeppelin
away.
lands near the top of every chart that measures rock and roll, but other than that, what are you going to do? There's no accounting for taste.
We've all got different freaking opinions, man. And we all, Kip, holy shit the bed. How you doing,
I mean,
bro?
some people don't like how I sing. No, I'm lying. Everybody likes how I'm singing.
I was about to say, I was like, who doesn't freaking like how you sing, dude? Dude,
Yeah.
Darren, I do not like Soundgarden. I have
Okay, hold on.
since the early '90s. I have no. I'm not gonna say I don't like Soundgarden. I did not like Chris Cornell's vocals.
You're talking music now. What about covers?
Who? What?
Well, what about him?
What's your 2 favorite cover songs ever? The best cover songs ever. People that actually covered and did better.
Okay, well, you know what? That's a tough one. Because there's been a lot of cover songs of a lot of songs. And I started to try to think as you said it. One did come to mind. I'm not sure that it's my favorite cover song, but I really like the way that Gob, the G.O.B., the band, did the song Painted Black by the Rolling Stones. I think they did as easily as good a job as the Rolling Stones did on Gob's Painted Black. I like that song.
Okay, I'm gonna have to
And what
look
about
that up.
And the other one would be Disturbed Sound of Silence.
Oh, that's a hard no for me. I've never liked Disturbed's vocal, but I mean, again, it's a preference. It's a preference.
Now,
Well, the Sounds of Silence is a little different.
Darren,
Yep.
your Disturbed definitely is one of my top 2.
Oh.
But it's Disturbed Sound of Silence.
That's what I said.
That Disturbed Sound of Silence, I believe they felt it more. They did way better than Simon and Garfunkel.
Nah.
100%.
I disagree.
I love Simon and Garfunkel, but Disturbed blew that out of the fucking water.
I'm driving too fast.
Slow down. Speed limit, Darren. Come on, brother.
I am. I'm fixing it.
One of my other favorites is the Hurt by Johnny Cash.
Oh, yeah, you nailed that.
Yeah. Well, even fucking Trent Reznor said that. So, I mean, that's almost a given because he gave that song to Johnny Cash.
Johnny Cash made that his own. I mean, there was so much feeling put into that song, but that's how I feel about Disturbed's version.
See, I don't, simply because the vocals in that song are so monotone. They're so he tries to get too deep. He tries to,
but that's in a way.
It makes me detest the band itself, but especially the vocalist, because it's like you're not putting enough.
I never liked.
You can have as much desire.
I got another.
I never liked Disturbed until I heard that song. And I still don't like Disturbed. That's the only song I like by that artist.
When I heard that song, I didn't like the entire freaking band.
No, that's the only song I like by that artist and that band. I love that version of Disturbed, or of that song by Disturbed, rather.
Okay, I got another.
Octave for me.
You guys ready?
Tell me.
This is a cover of a cover. because I like the K.D. Lang version musically of Hallelujah.
K.D. Lang?
Yeah, when I sing it, I sing a version that was done by K.D. Lang
Really?
for Leonard Cohen, Hallelujah.
Good night, Kip.
Or Rufus Wainwright, Leonard Cohen. Well, Leonard Cohen and Rufus Wainwright, I think.
And that's one of those, that's one of those songs that it almost doesn't matter who sings it. That song in and of itself, lyrically, just because of what it is, that song transcends every genre. It will not matter.
Yeah, it's a chore to sing.
I
It's a
don't
lot of
know.
fun.
And
I don't know what, and like I said again, I don't know the song that you're talking about, but when I hear someone say Hallelujah, I automatically think religious.
wait, you
And-
don't know Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah? It is a religious song, technically.
No, well, and then therefore, I will not pay attention to it. And I mean, even if it's playing, I just tune it out. I mean, that's how unreligious I am.
Right. Well, you don't have to dislike the song just because you're anti-religious.
No, it's not about liking or disliking the song. It's about the message that I know that it's going to come within this.
There's
I
really
think it's so ridiculous. I don't want to hear it, and
There's
I'm sorry,
really
that's
not-
the way that my mind works.
no, but there's really not a message pushed. That's the thing. I mean, Hallelujah,
Robert. There is a
Hallelujah.
message
The
pushed-
word itself. Hold on.
There,
The word
there is a
itself
message
means
pushed
praise
with
Jah.
there is a
So-
message pushed with the name of the song.
With the name of the song, yes, there is a message pushed. But what I'm saying is ignore that portion of it and just look at the song as far as how the lyrics and the music and the cadence of what is there, and it is good. You don't have to agree with it, but you can still look at it from an outside perspective and say, yeah, that was a good piece of music.
You know, if I want to look at something like that, then I'll look at a Tool song,
Hey, they had some good shit too.
and I'll break down their music. But anything
Like
that's
Schism?
push-
Schism was
anything that's-
great.
Yeah, I mean that's my whole point.
And look at me. I fucking love Marty Robbins. But Tool's Schism, that was a good fucking song.
Or right, Moto Mining. It goes something. Hallelujah. I don't fucking know, dude. I know that I've heard it somewhere, but
But it's still-
I've literally never paid attention to it
But
because
it's
the second that I don't even hear it when it's playing. All I hear is that, oh, hallelujah, and then I'm like, oh my God, and I'm like, just keep it in church, man. Keep it in church.
and Juan,
I
I'm
don't
that
go
way
to
about
church, so I
I'm that
don't
way
have to
about
hear
a
it.
lot of shit. And I was that way about that specific song for a long time. But
Right on.
I got past that. I broke past that and just listened to it as far as how
Good
it
for
was
you,
being
man. Good
sung,
for you. I mean,
how it was
I don't
being
want to get
sung,
there.
and ignoring the lyrics. That's one of the few songs I've been able to ignore the lyrics on. Because
Dudes,
I'm a
I don't know of
lyricist,
a
and that's
playback
difficult.
device that doesn't got an off switch. So what are we worried about?
What was it,
What's that,
Darren?
Darren?
Says, I don't know of a playback device that don't got an off switch. So what are we worried about?
Exactly.
That's the beauty again, brothers. We are all a little different.
Absolutely. And you know what? And I love it all, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get to heaven one day, and God's gonna ask me, what would make your heaven right? What kind of heaven do you want? And I'm gonna look him in the eye and I'm gonna say, I kind of want to party with my buddy Juan, even if he didn't believe I want him here. So that's what I want. And you're gonna fucking show up and you're gonna go, what the fuck? And I'm gonna say, I wish you were here, bro. And now you're here, and I love you. And that's what's gonna happen.
Be like, dude, Darren, let's go fishing.
Yeah, let's go fishing.
That's kind of fucked up. Darren doesn't give a shit about me.
No,
you're not the one abstaining religion.
Do you need salvation too, Rob?
Oh no, I was born and raised very religiously.
I'll have forever to mention everybody's name.
Hey,
I'll
Darren.
get around to you, I promise.
Darren, maybe one day we'll have a great discussion. I was actually born and raised as a Jehovah's Witness.
Oh yeah, good times. Great people to have as your neighbors, but they make a mess of your neighborhood with flyers and whatnot.
They knock on the door in the morning.
Well, you just answer the door naked, and they'll stop doing that.
Well, no, you have to, because you're like trying to jerk off before you go to work, and they're knocking on your door, and you're like, "What the fuck?"
But I was raised as Jehovah's Witness, so when it comes to religion,
I was as well.
Especially music. Wait, what? Juan?
I was as well.
Really?
Yeah, we went to the Kingdom Hall up till I was about 7 years old.
I
was a lot older when I left, and I still don't.
From McDonald's after today?
Yeah,
hey,
let's
Juan.
see here.
Sorry?
Just looking at what I want.
He wants a Big Mac?
Sure.
Big Mac? I'm trying to fuck with Darren. I'm sorry. I'll stop.
Let him order.
Now, what's the quarter pounder with cheese? The one that has bacon on it as well. That one.
Quarter pounder with cheese with bacon?
Yeah, I'll have that. Yeah, quarter pounder BLT.
Okay.
Give me that and make it a double.
Double quarter pounder BLT.
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
Sure. It's a meal?
No, it's not. Just a sandwich.
Just a sandwich?
Yeah, that's all.
Do you have a shake?
No, I don't. No shakes.
I was trying to see if their shake machine was working.
Oh, that's a good question. I'll find out for you.
Damn it, Juan.
Fucking love you, Darren.
For one, I will definitely check this. This is a thing.
It is, bro.
I want ice cream.
It's not my fault it's a meme. They did this to themselves. We're live on the internet. We're live on the internet, and the internet wants to know, does the shake machine work? It's not my fault.
Oh, good shit, man.
You guys shamed yourself. Just wait, here she is.
Hi, quarter pounder BLT double with bacon.
That's the one. I'm going to use cash, though. How much?
That'll be $9.35.
I have a question for you.
Right?
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Does the shake machine work?
No, not now.
No. The answer is no, boys. The entire internet was wondering if the shake machine worked. And so the answer is no.
It's Sunday cleaning.
Sunday cleaning?
Yeah. Usually
It's not Sunday.
Every
they only clean it on Sunday?
Every fourth night.
Fortnight.
14th
Every
night.
fortnight.
I don't know. Every now and then they clean it. Go ahead, do my thing. Look at the
Isn't
change
it
for any cool.
like 20 days?
Look for any cool coins. Anything with paint on it. Anything with colors on it. The coins. These collector coins.
Isn't
Anything that's colored, any paint at all, anything unusual.
No.
What about toonies? There's a lot of toonies that are cool. Anything cool? The black ring. You know, the one celebrating the Queen. Nothing special. No colors. No painting. Dang. All right. Nothing worthwhile here, kids.
Dang it.
We have food quality here.
Fucking punk rock, bro.
Alright.
Darren is freaking awesome.
Alright.
You just went up fucking like, I don't know, you're already at 98. Now you're at 99.5 coolness factor.
Oh my God. Fucking Darren, you are a beast.
How so?
Yeah, dude.
I want a hamburger and something cool.
I want a hamburger and some fucking toonies, bitch.
Yeah, but
That'd be nice.
I mean, calling out that poor little Hispanic girl. I mean, damn, dude.
That was freaking awesome.
You don't have to bag it. I'll take. No, I mean when mine comes, you don't have to bag it. Nah, it's not gonna last. No, the sandwich. It has a very short life ahead of it.
Tell her not to wrap it, just to hand it to you.
You don't even have to. Exactly, yes.
Hey, I'll open my mouth wide. Ah! Just jam it down my throat. I don't think they do that, but you never know.
I know, but
Insert.
that would be so
Open mouth
funny.
insert Big Mac or quarter pounder, whatever it is.
I'm gonna grab a beer real quick. Oh my God, that was freaking awesome.
Fucking Darren, I love you, man.
Hey, man. Oh, here comes.
Oh
Thank you
shit,
so
we got
much.
somebody in the background. Oh
Thank
shit,
you.
maybe not anymore.
Here we
Damn it.
go. Rock, 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 and roll high school. Rock.
Rock.
There was somebody in the
rock,
background
rock,
for a little bit, and I missed them.
Arr.
I'm sorry if you were in the background and I missed you. I didn't mean to leave you in the basement until you died. You can come back, though. I'll try
It
to.
puts the lotion on its skin.
Unless it gets the hose again.
Well, I got distracted.
No,
I
hey,
know.
no, dude.
Well, I got to tell you, once I do
sometimes,
get home, I got to be bailing on you guys because it'll be a quick little snack, and then it's going to be off to Betty Bye because I'd go to work tomorrow morning, which is stupid, but that's how it is.
Right on, brother. Right
Well, good for you. Unfortunately, my work tomorrow got called off, so I'm like, well, fuck.
on. What am I
I
going to do?
actually took the day off today. I kind of played hooky because I didn't feel very good. I really didn't feel good at all. I feel quite a bit better right now, though, honestly.
That's
So
good to
that's
hear,
good.
dude.
Well, that's good.
Glad you're feeling better,
Yeah,
bro.
tomorrow will be fine. I needed another day of recuperation. Tomorrow's going to be okay. I could feel that already.
Heck
I
yeah.
feel energized for some reason. I'll take it.
Holy shit. Do we have Ghost Nancy T?
I love that girl.
Oh my God. How are you
Oh.
feeling?
My God.
Hey, sweetheart.
Darling, how are you doing?
Hey.
I'm pretty stoned off my medicine right now.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I can
Oh.
still hear that
There's none of
throat
us-
and that cough is really fighting you, huh?
Yeah, the bronchitis.
And a touch of pneumonia. That
Nope.
sucks.
How long have you had the bronchitis right now?
I don't know. I got checked out the other day. They wanted me to stay in the hospital. I told them to screw off. I ain't staying there.
Hey, you
Damn,
got babies. You can't stay in the hospital.
Sweetie,
I understand that.
look, freaking over the last 2 weeks, I probably spent over $1,000 doing stuff for my godsons and my goddaughter because they were all sick with bronchitis.
Oh.
Or no,
Hey,
I
that's like
I was getting I was
My
getting sick. too.
boss's daughter had 104 temperature today,
From what?
and she's like 24 months old. They had to take her to the hospital.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, no. Yeah, well, and today it was because one of my godsons was having allergy reactions, and his dad wasn't wanting to pay the copay. So his mom messaged me, and she was like, "Dude, I'm freaking talking to Mario and this and that, blah blah blah, whatever." And he's saying he'll pay it, but when I tell him send me the money, he's like going on to other things. I'm like, just take the boy, just take the baby to the freaking doctor, pay it, whatever. But
Yeah, hey,
my God,
Juan, you ain't got to worry about language on this channel.
well, I still always try to be at least somewhat.
You can. That's up to you, man. I'm just saying you ain't got to bend your shit to say, hey, they need to get into the fucking hospital and get some shit taken care of.
Well, Robert, especially when I start talking about those kids, my
Yeah.
language will initially like just switch to not cursing. Otherwise,
In
I
a
don't give
way,
fuck.
exactly. When it comes to the
But
babies, I don't
when it
give a
turns
fuck.
to them kids, and I'm talking
Okay,
about
boys
them,
and girls,
my
I'm
language
heading
will
in.
change.
It
You'll
has
notice
been a
that.
pleasure having you on the drive, but I gotta go. I love
All right,
y'all. Bye for
love
now.
you, Darren. Thank you
Good
so
Night,
much.
night,
Darren.
Darren.
Good night.
Oh,
How
that
doing,
man
Darren?
freaking rocks.
But
Nancy,
yes,
did you see? Did you see him
Nancy.
asking for freaking change in the freaking McDonald's drive-through?
But Nancy, I sure hope you start feeling better, darling, and your babies. I sure hope that they start getting better.
Well, my children are healthy. They're doing good. They're
Are they
pretty
all
much staying
cleared
away
up
from me too
now?
much. Yeah.
So it's just you? Well, you better get better, darling. You were supposed to be coming and seeing me.
Yeah, I need to get better.
Where is it at?
Hell yeah, you better get better.
Well, this way. Take your vitamin D3
Okay,
every day.
Hold on. I gotta try to figure out what I need to say because I can't really say I gotta get on her ass to make her feel better.
You have to fuss at her. Right?
You know, that's not the proper way to state what needs to happen.
Well, I'm just saying, when you say you got to get on a woman's ass, it's like, you know.
Well, like I said, well, this is Nancy. It's
know.
different.
But she's a married woman, and
This is different. I can't say it that way.
exactly, you got to fuss at her. You got to, give her a switch.
So, exactly. Like I said, I got to figure out a different way of saying it. But I really do hope she gets better very soon.
Yeah. I'm a trooper, though. I keep doing what I need to do.
Dude.
Nancy, you got babies. I mean, there's no other option, honestly. I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
Yep.
Is there anything that anyone else could do for you to help?
Exactly.
No, I'm all set. I go see the doctor again tomorrow.
Have they given you any steroids?
I'm on I have steroid antibiotics and then a steroid inhaler.
Oh, shit the freaking bed, and you're.
I would personally suggest something that contains a CBD to calm yourself down, because you seem everything that I have seen from you, Nancy, with, like in Coining Around and other channels, even though lately you have been kind of like trying to stay in the background or whatever, you are still very active, and you are like just that go, 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 go. You're too hyperactive in what you're doing. You need to chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
There's
You
Unfortunately,
need
I
to get
can't take CBD. I can't have CBD or THC. So
you need to get something even more relaxing than a CBD. Though a CBD won't be a bad thing to start with.
well, it would be bad for me. It would send me to the hospital. I'm allergic to CBD and THC.
That's a rarity, but it does happen. I've known that my whole life. That's unfortunate.
I got
Because-
Adderall.
You really need to just chill the fuck out.
What about something like valerian root or something like that?
Yes, valerian. Nice. Good choice.
I think we make tea with valerian root.
There are so many, and I've got plenty
Have
of
you
books
drank
I
any
could dig through.
recently, Nancy?
What?
Have you had any recently?
No, I just took a high dose of Adderall so I can go to bed.
Okay.
No.
Try
Fuck
to-
Adderall.
Hey,
Fuck that shit.
Let Nancy drink some of the tea if you've got it there. Honestly, I'm one that stays. I try to stay away from pharmaceuticals as much as I can.
Coffee actually helps. It's weird, but coffee can help.
Yeah, coffee just makes me sick. I don't drink coffee.
Or
But
do you add stuff to your coffee, or you just drink it as coffee?
When I drink coffee, it's straight up. It's black.
yar.
Well, then maybe you might need to add stuff to it, or it somehow less, weaken it, thin it down.
Right.
But
I mean,
that
if you're just going with
caffeine-
pharmaceuticals, go with some cocaine.
well, you know how like a caffeine buzz, you crash,
Right.
or like a sugar buzz, you crash. You have to learn that sweet spot in between and be able to consume it, because that used to happen to me. Sometimes I can drink coffee and I can just crash and fall asleep, but I don't drink it black. I have sugar and cream in it.
Well,
Right.
and again, I was thinking more on the sleep side versus, or in conjunction with the illness side. And that's why I was saying valerian root, infuse some feverfew in there. If you can get access to like local dandelion, either greens or flowers, that will help as well. But you've got to, like I said, I hate pharmaceuticals.
Well, right, but most people don't recognize and realize what we have, naturally around us.
And that's why I'm suggesting it.
Right.
I mean, yeah,
Anyway, I mean,
feverfew, Jarro.
or cocaine. Either way. Not
No,
that I do
that's
it, but I mean,
that's
if you
in a
just wanna get
completely
going,
well.
That is a joke, by the way, Nancy. It's a freaking joke. Don't.
That is not local. I think about local stuff.
Don't go buy that shit because it'll have, what is that shit that's in there now? Fentanyl? And it'll kill you. Fucking don't do any pharmaceuticals. Bad. Bad.
Bad.
I want to slap you.
Fuck what?
Because you shouldn't talk about that shit.
You said this was a no holds barred channel. You told me I could curse up here. I could say hell, hell, damn, damn, pee pee, doo doo.
Yep.
Rustler's Rhapsody?
What?
It was a movie back in the 80s, Rustler's Rhapsody. You don't remember?
No. I'm not familiar with Russell's Rhapsody.
Yeah. And the guy's like, I can cuss if I want to. Hell, hell, damn, damn, TT, doo doo. Yeah, anyways, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that movie.
You should watch it. It's a comedy, like, but it's satirical and not really that funny when you watch it now. But yeah, it was, I don't know. It was what it was.
Not really satirical now.
Yeah.
Oh, so was it one of the predictive movies?
No, it was bad.
So it's not full of Karens and all that?
No, oh God, no. Dude, this was in the 80s.
Well, I've seen some movies in the 80s that predicted Karens.
No, this was along the lines of almost what's his freaking name that did History of the World Part 1 and Blazing Saddles? You know who I'm talking about, the director, the dude.
Was that
Rick,
Mel Gibson?
No, this is old, dude. This is old. This is like before Mel Gibson. This is like Mel. No, maybe that's why you said Mel Gibson. But no, it's like anyway.
Yeah, whatever.
It's kind of a funny movie, but it's cowboy based. It's hilarious for what it
That
was.
sounds like Mel Gibson.
No, it's not freaking Mel Gibson. Mel. I'm like, let me look at my phone, but now I'm like, there's my phone. I'm looking at it. I can't look it up. Mel Brooks.
It's a smartphone.
Mel Brooks. It's along
Mel
the lines
Brooks.
of Mel Brooks comedy.
Yeah, so you're fuck, I know the movie.
History of the World Part 1, Blazing Saddles.
Yeah, Blazing Saddles and those characters. Yeah.
Yeah, it's along that type of comedy.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Mel Brooks and Blazing Saddles.
Yar. And that's why when you said Mel Gibson, I was like, oh shit. And then I'm like, Mel fucking yeah.
Yeah. It was Mel Brooks, not Mel Gibson. Yeah, I was wrong.
You were there. You were there, bro. You were there.
I was close.
All right, boys. I'm gonna hit the set.
Nancy, I hope you start feeling better soon, darling.
Thank you. I appreciate
You'll get
it.
back to better.
I mean, I love you, darling. You know I love you.
too.
And just, I mean, you've got so much to live for, especially those babies, but I hope your pain starts easing.
I appreciate it.
Drink that tea. Get a little more holistic in what you're doing. And honest, and I hate even saying it, but go a little more organic.
Right. Good night,
Love you,
Darren
dude.
Gray. Good night,
Hey,
boys.
Nancy,
see you,
I
man.
don't work tomorrow, so if you want to call, give me a call.
Hi, Robert.
I'll answer. You know I'll answer if you give me a call tomorrow.
I know. We'll talk to you later. Love you.
Take
I
care,
love
bro.
you too, darling. Go
Bye.
blow your nose. Get a good cough out. Give those babies kisses and hugs.
I will. Good night.
Good night,
Good
Mom.
night, darling.
She's a sweetheart.
Nancy is an amazing woman. Definitely.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate that health-wise, I do okay.
Did you know Nancy was actually going to visit me in person?
No, I mean, I didn't. I don't know what you guys talk about.
Yeah,
I'm not around.
it
I mean,
it wound
how
up
would I have known that?
it just wound up failing. Like it was a night or a morning that my alarm wasn't set to the right time, and she was passing through the area, and I didn't get the message that she was there, and we just didn't meet up.
Right
But
on. Well, I mean, it sucks.
yeah, it sucked
That
because
really
I
fucking
mean,
sucks. I mean, no, I
she
hear
was
you, but
like,
at the same time, I mean, freaking hey, dude. You know, I mean,
it was like 5-minute drive away from where I was in bed, and I could have met up with Nancy.
there are
5 minutes.
Robert, there are like 3, maybe 4 freaking people from the YouTube coin community that I've met in person. And I mean, it's cool and all, but in all honesty, once I meet you guys in person, not like you would be a little fucking different because we could talk about all kind of shit. You
I'm
know? And
the same.
well, I mean, but we could talk about fucking like your fucking flint mapping, and we can talk about all kinds of shit, dude.
Oh yeah.
But there are those people that like you're like, all right, well, we're gonna go meet, you know, we're going to this coin show, and like, oh, let's meet up, and then like, all right, well, but me, I'm and a lot of it is me because I'm very introverted.
I am as well.
So you get it, and I'm like, yeah, okay, you know, and I mean, case in point, all right, and I'll say this out, like when I went and met, I went to the Houston Coin Show. I think it was last year, maybe the year before. I think it was the year before. But I had met up with Mad Stacker and Everyday Opportunity.
Yeah.
And dude, I met them. Freaking cool guys, cool as heck. Freaking Mad Stacker. Because when I went, initially I was just going to go by myself. But one of my godsons wanted to go. Well, then the other one wanted to go. So I took both of my godsons with me. Matt Stacker, he's just like, oh, this and that, yeah. He's walking around with he's taking my godsons, just walking them around, showing them stuff and just talking to them and just, dude, I was so impressed with just how like involved he was. But
Really?
But then I was left standing there with EC, and I'm like, man, I'm not really a talker, you know? unless I've been drinking. And this was, and I've never drank around my godsons. I don't do it. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do shit. But so I'm standing there and we're like, yeah, well, this and that, and whatever. And next thing you know, we go and we're like, well, where's Matt Stacker at? And he's over here with my godsons. And so we keep walking around and he's showing them everything. And then they got this big old, like, 100-ounce freaking, and it might have even been 1,000 ounce. I don't know. It was this big freaking silver bar. And he goes over there. And I don't know if you've ever seen Matt Stacker, but he's a big freaking dude. And he's picking this bar up and he's like, yeah, this is a heavy bar. And he puts it back on the table. He's like telling my godson, he's like, come over here, pick this up. My godson walks over there and he's like, okay, I'm not going to pick that up. I don't know. It was just, the point is, it's like, you don't know people until you meet them. And even when you meet them, no matter how much we can sit here and shoot the shit and be cool and have things in common, when you get around each other, the energy plays a lot. And
Well,
I'm not.
I have to agree with what you're saying. I know what you're saying. But some people, there are rare occasions where some people are exactly what you see is what you get.
Right.
It's rare. But you can also, the more people you meet, which you have, it sounds like you have, kind of an edge on me on that aspect. The more people you meet, the better you know people. And the easier it is to understand a person with knowing them for a very short period of time.
Yeah.
I
get
you can, you can kind of get a feel for somebody. You're like, oh, well, this person's this way, this person's this way.
But I mean, my point is, like, for me, especially, is that like when I met those guys, I didn't talk a whole lot. I talk less than I talk here,
Oh, yeah,
Now,
look
again,
at how often I go live on this channel.
Or I know, I fucking hate it. And we've talked about going live before, like, together, just because typically when this happens, it's because we're imbibing in something.
Yeah, we've had a few, right?
Right. And dude, that's when I will talk. But and there was someone else that I had visited, and I was just like, all right, well, I'm gonna have I'll come visit and I'll have a few drinks. And they were like, well, I don't want you to drink and drive. And I was like, dude, I can drink, a few drinks and still drive. But at the same time, I understand why you wouldn't want me to. And I understand that that's a bit of a distance. I know you're right, so I'm not going to do it. And when we were hanging out, I was just a freaking fuddy-duddy because I'm in my shell.
Well, yeah, no, I understand exactly when you said fuddy-duddy, because I'm 40 years old. But my dad was born in 1944.
Or mine was born in 41, my brother.
My mom in 53. I'm 40 years old. It's like, yeah, I was raised completely differently.
Well, not from me. From most
from,
people, but there's a lot of things that we have in common.
Yeah, exactly. For most people, we were raised completely differently. We have a different understanding of how the world works and how people interact. And now that's getting really twisted.
No, currently it's getting fucked.
And yeah, I mean, I was trying to be nice.
Or I'm not nice, especially after I've had a few drinks.
Exactly. Neither am I. I kind of let this shit go as well. So I don't give a fuck either.
But no, and I will say, like, again,
Because I'm sorry, there's only two fucking genders, and I'll scream it out loud. If an archaeologist digs up a body, it's either male or female, not some one of the other fucking 72 genders that they supposedly claim exist. No, it's either male or female. That's it.
how do you know?
It's
I don't
based
fucking know.
on biology and
Wait,
on the
no.
shape of the pelvis and on the shape of the fucking jaw.
It's based on the DNA that they extract from the fucking bones.
Yeah, but you can do it even less than going that far. You can base it just based on the fucking pelvis shape and the fucking jawline.
There can be anomalies there. Just
You
as
don't
there
have.
can be
There
anomalies,
can be
just as
anomalies,
there can be
yes.
but and like Andrew Tate would say, yes, there are anomalies, but the anomalies are not the fucking norm.
Exactly.
And you know what? If you are an anomaly to civilization, then you know what? You are an outlier and you need to be fucking removed.
Nope.
Because you know what? No. Because we want, no, fuck diversity.
Absolutely not. There's no reason to remove anybody. Absolutely not.
No. You don't get it. If
No,
there
that is absolute. No, I will never agree with that. We all have differences, and sometimes there are extreme differences. But it doesn't matter what that difference is. There's absolutely no reason why one or a multitude of individuals based on characteristics need to be removed from society. Absolutely fucking not. Never.
So the genome for a serial killer should never be removed.
There is no specific genome for
How do
a
you know?
consideration of somebody being considered a serial killer.
How do you know? Are you a DNA expert?
I don't have to be an expert in that specific
Have you looked
form
into it?
of science.
Have you looked into it?
It's not genetic. I actually have to an extent.
So what is it?
I haven't researched. Hold on. I haven't researched it, but I have looked into it at times, and from what I have seen, it is not a pathology that is genetically connected. It is unfortunately a little deeper than that, because from what I have been able to research and see, I don't want to say human nature. That's going a little too far. It's something a little less than that. It's not human nature. It's more like a human, like a trait. Not necessarily, no, that's not right either. I can't figure out how to properly state what I want to say.
A survival mechanism that's triggered in the wrong way, maybe?
Yes, in a way. It is a survival mechanism. People always want to survive in one way or another, and currently it seems like it is like a social currency. It's like, oh, well, I'm more woke than you are. And it is, to an extent, a similar survival trait as people
Absolutely.
had to have back in the day of, well, hey, I can break these rocks and make a sharper spear point than you can.
Is there a perfect genome as far as the DNA goes that makes the perfect human?
I would not think so, because there's no such. I would not think there is a such thing as a perfect human in that aspect. Oh, I hate saying that word. But there are so many different aspects of our genome that, stronger points are going to be more, what's the word? More adaptable to where people are at, because I think a lot of that has to do with where you're at and what your resources are.
Well, no, what it comes down to is, what is your definition of perfection?
A definition of perfection?
Right.
If I think about a definition of perfection, my
As far as,
mind,
as far as the human goes, there has to be I mean, for you to entertain that, you have to have a definition of it, right?
well, is your definition of perfection based off of physical attributes or mental attributes? Or is it a combination of everything?
Well, naturally, it would be a combination of everything. Because if you have no physical attributes, then you're essentially useless.
Not
and if you have
necessarily,
no,
because you could
and
have
if you,
no physical.
no. Because if you have
Stephen
zero,
Hawking.
listen,
Stephen
if
Hawking.
you,
Stephen Hawking had no physical attributes, yet mentally, what he gifted to the human race is astronomical. So
wait, no, let me correct you. Let me correct you. How did he communicate?
I'm not saying he didn't communicate in a physical way, but I'm saying what he had to
No, he
say.
had physical attributes.
It's I think in that aspect you're taking something
To an extreme. Yes.
a very slight technicality to an extreme,
No.
because the man's intelligence is what set him apart.
And do you know what, Robert? In the next 100, maybe 150 years, his intellect, as long as we exist that long, his intellect, or my phone fell, his intellect will be torn apart.
No, his intellect will never be torn apart, because his intellect was his own.
No,
And
I mean, and
he was intelligent enough to counteract any argument against his opinions. That man.
Wait, which opinions are we talking about? And what are we going to talk about here?
No, I don't even want to try to get into what Stephen Hawking, his opinions were, because my brain currently is not at that stage.
Or I got you.
That man was at a completely different stage to anybody.
But what I'm trying to say is this: is that we are currently in a flux, just as
Yes,
we always are. Just as
we
we
are.
always are. And what we are understanding now is the fact that regardless of what we understand, is not necessarily the absolute of everything. Because the fact that astrophysicists who are they're observing the large, and quantum
Wait.
physicists,
They're observing the what?
the large, the universe. They observe the universe. The astrophysicists, they observe the universe. Quantum physicists are observing the micro, the most minute particles. And there is such a huge gap between them. From
Well, where are you trying to go with
let
this?
me finish my statement, please. From quarks, and you've got electrons that can't decide whether they're a wave or a particle unless they're observed with quantum physics. And then you've got the large, where is the astrophysicist saying, well, we've got dark matter and we've got dark energy, and it creates so much of the universe that we don't understand. The point is, there is so much of this that is not understood enough. Yet, when you hear all of these experts talk about it, they try to explain it in ways that they understand. And what they are not realizing and what they're not admitting is that, look, we're fucking ignorant.
No, there's plenty of them that do actually state that
Name
that
one.
this is
Name
the
one.
best.
Name one.
This is the best. I don't know names, but this is the best
So then don't say that.
explanation.
No, wait,
this
wait,
is
wait,
the
time out,
best
time out, time out, time out.
explanation that we can give
Listen,
with
listen.
what information we can
And that's
physically
exactly what I just said.
exactly. But that's what I'm saying. With our brain power, with what we understand, this is the best explanation that we can give for the information that we currently have.
It goes back 100, 200 years.
It does.
Thousands of years, honestly.
But it changes. It does change because
What changes?
the understanding. Because 1,000 years ago, people thought, everybody pretty much thought the world was flat. And now we know that's not true. There are still some people that believe the world is flat, but the vast majority of population understands that it's not. And that is what has changed. Because throughout history, there's always theories, there's always new information coming to light. And at times, people are 100% absolutely right, and they are branded as heretics, and they are burned at the stake. But yet now we know that they were 100% correct with what they were saying. But there's still going to be that small percentile in human population that does not believe that that was true. Hold on.
You are so off camera right now.
Oh, I know I am, but I got to use the restroom.
I was like, I'm looking at your ceiling.
Yeah, I know. I'm showing my ceiling.
But Robert, here's the thing.
Hold on.
You're saying
just entertain people so I can go pee real quick.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll do it, and then you got to come back and do it.
Okay.
Hello, chat. So who all's in here? Darren Gray, are you still in here? Freaking, I know it's been a minute, and I can't really check my YouTube right now to see who all is in here. If you're in chat, if you say hello, hey, Darren, what's up, brother? I'm sorry I'm not so entertaining. I argue a lot. I argue everything a lot. But I question everything. Think for yourself. Question everything. That's me. But I'm glad you're still in here, brother. Are you at least somewhat enjoying the conversations that we're having, Darren? I don't know. Anything you would like to talk about? Oh, you're laughing. Yeah. Oh my God, it's fun. We sound like a bunch of fucking drunk idiots, don't we? Are. But we do post questions. But that's the point to life overall, isn't it? Is to question. If you're not questioning things, if you're just accepting what's given to you, what are you learning? You know, there's so much to learn in this world. Just as, like I was trying to tell Nancy when she was up there, I was like, all right, well, you're taking this, you're taking that. And I was like, freaking valerian root and some feverfew and put some, just aside from this pandemic that's going around and many of the others that have been started before us, there is a solution to every problem that is holistic and natural around us. It's only a matter of finding. Anyways, Robert's back. He can entertain you for a minute. I'm going to go hit the head and grab another beer.
Grab the beer.
Or,
I switched. But yeah, we all have something that we believe in, no matter what it is. And this is something I am probably going to get more into, not publicly, but at different times we see things differently. I see what's going on in the world, and honestly, I'm afraid. It's scary what's going on when you look at everything and take everything into account. And if you look at it biblically, shit lines up, and it's just, I don't know, there's some crazy shit out there. I actually went to school for archaeology, and looking at biblical archaeology and seeing how many places have been found and how much has been proved true, just using basically the Bible as a reference for places and people and events, they line up. So why disregard other things that text says?
Line up. We're on the same page. I think we're just coming at it from different freaking angles, bro.
Oh, that happens with most things. That's what That's what people
Well,
don't
no,
understand.
no. Because the thing is that in today's society, in today's technology, so much of the past is repressed for profit. 100%.
Well,
100%.
well, repression, but also repetition, because they, you got to think the people that are in power see what worked in the past and they
No,
reproduce it.
no, they don't see what worked in the past. They don't fucking care about the past. All they care about, the people that are in power now, all they care about is making money. All they care about is
No.
becoming as wealthy as they can.
No, that is the shallowest part of what's going on. I mean, you got to look way deeper.
So give me another example that will prove me wrong.
The fact that they want the human population around 500,000.
Okay, wait. Now stop. When you say they, I want you to be specific. You're talking about what's his name, fucking Soros, or fucking all these fucking.
All of them. Yeah, exactly. You know exactly who the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah. Why do they want it there?
Because they want to be able to control the world. Those globalist elites, if there is that amount of population, that small amount, and those are, that's basically a serfdom.
What does that go back to?
That's basically a serfdom.
It goes back to wealth.
It does.
You've not said anything yet, Robert. You've not said anything that disproves anything that what I'm saying.
I'm not saying that I'm disproving anything that you're saying. We, again, like you said, we look at it from different points of view.
Okay, look. First of all, the people that are saying like, oh, the earth can only support 500,000 people, they are fucking idiots. They do not understand the biology of the earth.
Exactly. The earth can support one person per square acre.
If even, but yeah, that's roughly right. That's roughly right. But you have to, it has, for it to be supported that way, it would have to be a community.
Exactly. And unfortunately, that's, again, if you look at the Bible, the Bible says, hold on.
I'm trying to read chat for a second. Moto said, I just stepped outside and found a custard dish full of change and a box of free stuff.
Hell yeah, Moto.
What? 3 a.m. coin hunt? Shit the bed.
What the hell, man? That's awesome.
Custard dish? I don't understand that. But what did you find, dude? Elaborate.
Well,
come up on put the link in there.
A custard dish is probably about this size of a piece of like silver. I think this is like a custard dish.
I just want to know what he freaking found, man.
Think of like 2 scoops of ice cream or 2.5 scoops of ice cream.
Raisins are the reason. Kellogg's raisins are pleasing. Now I'm curious of what was out there.
Right? What's in that box of free stuff?
Holy shit, at least $5. What? How did that happen, Moto? What's going on? Are people leaving money on your doorstep?
Right? Was he going out looking for it, or did it just show up?
Take it inside and then search it, because someone might come out there and start looking for it later. Just, yeah. Depending on how you know, if you're in apartments and someone else left it out there, you know what? You find it, you take it inside, and then you look through it.
No, fuck that. If it's not your address, you give it to whoever's address it was.
No, I'm in apartments. He said he stepped outside. A box
Yeah,
of
but
free
it's-
stuff in the hall. There you go.
Well, let's say it was designated Department 18, and it
Well,
was
yeah. But
and it went to Apartment 118. And would you not
Hey,
want?
he didn't say. He said he found a custard dish. There's no address on a custard dish typically. Is there? Come on, man. Read it as he says it, and let's roll with it and cheer him on. I'm not gonna make him
Hey,
a hat, a blanket, and a washcloth, and oh god dang, she was
Hey,
knocked up.
I have
Or
to
he was
have
making
a
sure-
I have to have a counter argument. You know, we got to have something to bounce things
off
off
each other.
of.
Well, yeah, but I mean, anyway, let's get back to that. It's so much fun. I always freaking enjoy talking with you, brother. You're one of the very few people that I can speak with and bounce my freaking insane opinions off of and not get
Butt hurt?
no, you don't. No, you don't get offended. You discuss it with me.
Exactly. I'm not gonna get butt hurt. I don't give a shit.
No, or freaking I'm not gonna call you names, but I had a discussion with someone about a flat Earth.
You want to see my pussy?
Oh, I see midnight. It's past midnight here.
Oh, it's way past midnight here.
I'm at 5:28.
Oh, fuck.
Mine's not black, it's gray.
It's only 4:28 where I am.
Or well, you're in Colorado.
Yeah.
Damn. You don't ever do no gold adventures up there? You don't ever go look for gold?
I have to go at least 3 hours away from where I live.
Right on. Yeah, that's a bit inconvenient. I'd probably have to do the same thing because I know that there's a small place here in Texas in Llano County that we can go look for gold, and it's so fucking minuscule that
I mean, I could probably find some of that locally. But yeah, I would have to go through like 1,000 yards to find a 1/10 of a gram.
yeah. Dude, no, like in all honesty, I was like, you know what got me into it? I don't know, and I forget whose freaking video I watched, but a few years ago, I watched some video on fucking YouTube, and they were like, "Oh, this and that," and they were panning for gold, and they were using one of the Garrett Super Sleuth pans.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And I was freaking blast. I was freaking drunk, dude. Not gonna lie. And I was like, I followed their fucking affiliate link, and I ordered this freaking gold pan off of YouTube. And I'm like, heck yeah, I'm gonna go freaking gold panning, and I'm gonna have fun doing it. And it's sitting back over there. But anyway, Well, it
Yep.
comes in. I forgot I had ordered it, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, that was cool." You know, as soon as I got it, I was like, "I remember." Uh, Long story short, that's when I started watching the people that do gold panning and the gold, and I watched Klesh.
Yeah.
You know who he
That's
is?
just
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. Well, and that was 3 years ago now. I had
So,
ordered.
do you watch Charlie with like oh shit, what's Charlie's channel?
I don't know,
Fuck.
but anyways, you know. So long story short, I ordered 2 bags of pay dirt from Klesh
Yeah.
because I was like, you know what? After I'd done the research, I was like, well, you know, I'm not going to find anything here in Texas unless I like drive 3 hours and go to Llano County. And I'd ordered one for myself, and I'd ordered one for one of my godsons.
Hey, where out in Texas are you?
I am in East Texas. I'm in Houston County. I'm basically halfway between Houston and Dallas.
So you're at the bottom end of the Uvalde gravel belt.
More east.
Those Uvalde gravels are amazing.
I'm probably 2 to 4 hours east
Okay.
of the bottom, at least. But no, I know we had mentioned something the other day about going to look for flint, and I'd forgotten where you had said specifically that was.
Oh yeah.
But,
Well, I'm getting some. I've actually got Nutta he's a streamer in England, and he's gonna send me like a baseball sized piece of flint from there. But
right on.
yeah, the Uvalde gravel belt and their root beer flint that they have there is
Mhm.
insane. It's amazing material.
What makes it better? Because I'm very ignorant about the flint from different areas. I mean, is it more flaky or is it more solid so that it strikes better and makes a sharper projectile?
Really, all three, because the hardness has a factor in on how well it flakes.
And I would think that the
The-
harder that it was, the better it would flake, correct?
Yes, the harder it is, the better it flakes, but it also makes it more brittle. So it's very tricky
On
to
the
work.
on the fine points, it makes it more brittle.
Yes.
Okay. But overall, it's still a harder stone.
Well, yeah, and the hardness makes it brittle. Because the harder something is, the more brittle it is. Because the softer it is, it has more flexibility, more pliability. So it's not as brittle, it's not as prone to shattering or breaking.
See, I mean, that completely baffles me because then it goes into molecular structure.
That's exactly what we're talking about, though.
Yeah, because when you say the harder it is, the more brittle it is, and I'm like, motherfucker, diamond, bitch. That's where my mind goes. But I think molecular structure. So,
and a diamond is extremely brittle.
No, it's not.
It is, though. If you hit it, like if you take a diamond and you put it in between a piece of steel and smack it with a hammer, it's going to shatter. Because it's very brittle. It might be very hard, but it's also very brittle.
No.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah. I could put a diamond in between a piece of metal and a hammer and smash it.
Yeah, and it might break. And depending on the size, depending on the size of the diamond, but with the molecular structure, the steel will dent.
No, I'm not saying that it won't dent the metal or anything like that, but I'm saying the diamond itself will shatter because it's so brittle. It will fracture into a million pieces.
But diamond is not. But diamond is not. Good job, Moto Metal. 64 Canadian nickel.
Oh, nice.
But diamond is not nearly as structurally
right. And when you're talking about structure, I'm talking about taking a piece of homogeneous crystalline silicate and taking a 35 or 38 degree angle flake off of it.
Right. So then, therefore, you're more speaking toward flint knapping.
Exactly, because some things have different. They have different fractures.
They have different molecular structures.
And a homogeneous crystalline silicate has a conchoidal fracture that fractures at 38 degrees. And that's what you use for flint knapping.
Excuse me. Conchoidal, can you define that for me? I'm ignorant to it.
Conchoidal is kind of like if you shoot a BB at a pane of glass, you know how it puts out like a circular pyramid?
Yes.
That's a conchoidal fracture. And
proceed. I understand.
And with something like a homogeneous crystalline silicate, like glass, it fractures at a 38 degree angle.
Again, proceed. I understand.
And you use that 38 degree angle for flint knapping. So I could take a piece of glass and I can put pressure at a specific angle and flake it off, and it will get somewhat of that conchoidal fracture on a flat plane.
Robert, just proceed with what you were saying. I was ignorant to the term. You don't have to define it so eloquently.
I just try to explain it to make anybody be able to understand. Anything you want to learn, I'll teach you when it comes to that.
I've got a rudimentary grasp around it, and I can go forward with the conversation. Is what I was trying to say.
If you want, I'll take you outside and smoke part of a cigarette and actually try to show you on camera how to do it.
Dude, and like I told you the other week, I would not be opposed to like you telling me like, hey, this is where I'd like to get some flint from, and I would take a weekend and just go to that area because it's only 2 or 3 hours away from me, and just I can go fishing and hang out and try to see if I can find some flint around there to send to you. I would absolutely do that, brother. It'd be
Hello,
fun.
Reg. Yeah, no, any flint. I would love any type of flint to try to work.
Right on, man.
But it does take time because there's a lot of material that looks like it will be good.
But it's useless.
Yeah, it's worthless.
It's
got internal flaws and fractures. It just breaks apart.
I understand I agree. I understand it.
Yeah, if you can read into that rock and see that it's a good, solid, clean piece, the possibilities are endless, Yar.
Reg, we're up here. We're talking a whole bunch of, what are we talking about? We're talking about rocks. We're talking about
Oh, hey, have you seen this one, Juan?
Dude, you are on my phone. You are less than an inch big.
Well,
And
this is an agate. And I realized
okay,
it was an agate just because of that white cortex. And I broke a chunk off, as you can see there, to expose it.
I see it now. I can't tell
And
what's
then I took,
inside.
then from a different direction, I took a chip off. And that chip actually defies gravity because I can touch it and pull
I
a chip right off of it.
I can't see what you're doing there, brother.
Well, you'll have to rewatch it on YouTube tomorrow.
Yar. Yeah. Or I'll freaking message you and you can send me a video or whatever. I don't know. But why does the chip defy gravity?
Because
12 cents?
it has to do with the
better than
molecular
nothing, that
structure of the rock.
It has to do with what?
The molecular structure of the rock itself. It is so high quality that, again, literally, that almost defies gravity.
So it's
And
almost magnetized per se.
Well, no, it's not. It's not magnetized. It's that it
Per se, but the molecular structure wants to line up so much that it reinvents itself.
Well, it kind of splits upon like an atomic basis or a molecular basis, to where those atoms and those molecules, to an extent, keep it in place. It's somewhat magnetic because what we're talking about technically does have electronics, but we're talking an atomic nature. It's not like I could put, a rare earth magnet on it and keep it in place. That's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
It's only keeping itself in place because it broke upon such a fine molecular level that it can.
The atomic structure wants to stick back together.
Yes, exactly. 100%. You understand.
I already told you that.
Yeah. Okay.
We understand things the same way.
Exactly. We just look at some stuff differently.
We just don't explain them the same way sometimes.
Uh-huh. Beer time.
Arr.
What?
But reflecting back to what we were speaking about earlier, with the advancement of everything that's going on in our time.
Which aspect?
With as far as the politics and the way that everyone sees everything, it's not the first time that it's happened.
No, and that's why I'm kind of interested in possibly traveling the world this coming year and looking at some of the polygonal masonry throughout the world, because from what I have seen, I truly believe there is a pre-flood global civilization, and the polygonal masonry is one of the keys to it. And I work with stone.
Rob Lab is talking about something. He's talking about the weak force. What is it? It's the, or what are the four? It's the weak force, strong force. Put them out there, Reg. uh, the weak force, the
It's-
strong force. It's not
It's called the weak.
gravity.
And-
Yeah, there you are. Thank you.
The weak
Gravitational
iteration
and
force.
electromagnetism. But
Yeah,
but here
gravity.
the caveat to all of this, and this is what I will tell to you, Rob, or Reg. I'm sorry, I keep saying Rob. But this is our explanation for what we understand now. But this explanation is not definitive because there are so many other things that we don't understand at this point. And these things don't explain everything. They absolutely don't.
No, and we can only theorize on what we have experienced and read. You know, we're still just talking theories based on our experiences or what we have consumed. And luckily, we have all consumed different things. So we have a lot that we can input to each other to help each other understand what's going on.
Reg, would you like to come up on panel?
You know,
Because
things that
you are much more educated in this than I am, and I would love to discuss things with you.
I would love to
Because-
see Reg on panel.
Okay, no worries. He says he can't.
Come on,
but-
Reg.
No, well, he said that he can't, and we're not going to force anything, man. Whatever. But I would love a conversation if you could sometime in the future. Because, again, as I said, I'm very ignorant about it. But for me to be as ignorant as I am about it and still be able to realize that what we understand is only a fraction of what is out there. I mean, to me, it's mind-blowing. Now, to you, it might not be so mind-blowing. But when I watch someone who is as accredited as freaking what's that astrophysicist's name that runs a thing in New York? What I can't recall his name right now.
Nah, doesn't matter.
But anyway, when you see someone who, oh my God, now see I can't.
Okay, different subject. What's the biggest fish you've caught recently?
Why are you gonna shit on me like that?
What do you mean? I haven't caught any fish recently.
Or, dude, I went this last Sunday, and to my credit, the place that I normally fish, there were a couple of people set up over there, and I didn't want to intrude on them, so I went and I fished other areas. I didn't even get a freaking bite. The time before that, I went over there, and it was right after we had gotten rain, and I knew that everything was going to be scattered. I got one bite as I was casting an artificial worm. It was falling, and I was sitting there and just not paying attention, just, because you're waiting for it to hit the bottom before you start working it. And I was just like, yeah, because I'd been out there for like 35, 45 minutes. And as it was falling, I got a hit, and then I was like, oh, shit, and I missed it. But other than that, no, I've not caught any fish this year.
What are you fishing for?
Bass. Typically, it's either spotted or black or largemouth bass.
Yeah, using a fake bait that's just sinking, that wouldn't work very well for a largemouth.
Well, I was fishing an artificial worm. which you let sink to the bottom and you bounce it along the bottom and then you catch your freaking bass.
Hey, now, one thing I found out when I was a kid in Missouri, now, different fish, different pieces of water, different bodies of water, whatnot. But a dark based, like a salamander with a chartreuse green tail, largemouth bass just annihilate that bait. So try a very dark based, like a salamander with a chartreuse.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've got Power Pro worms that are similar with the black body and the yellow chartreuse tail.
But also,
honestly, like I mean, because I am in East Texas and I understand the
also it's how you set it up. Have like that,
Robert,
you know, that
Robert,
bullet shape.
But I understand. I understand the fauna that we have out here, and
yeah,
I know the cycles that they go through, and right now that's not what they're going to be seeing. So they're not going. I mean, dude, I threw it for an hour and they didn't bite it. Reg, what type of peer studied reviews are you going through, if you can say?
Like sprinkle some garlic salt or.
Well, Reg, if you're, I mean, pickerel.
Don't use WD-40.
Are a lot different than bass. Pickerel are almost adjacent to walleye.
Yeah, pickerel are like walleye and pike.
Well, I'm asking, I'm trying to, you know, because again, neither pickerel nor walleye are anything that I'm used to fishing for. But I would understand. But at the same time, I mean, I can jab a hook through a night crawler and throw it out there and
catch
like
anything.
Where I fish, I'm just as likely to catch a red ear slider or a catfish or a bass. Or
I love red ears. Oh, they're so tasty. That's how I fish though. I fish with a night crawler and I love catching red ears. Those shell crackers, oh man. And I can catch fucking.
Well, I mean,
I've caught big fucking catfish on night crawlers. I've caught giant gar on night crawlers.
Reg, I understand that, but how many studies are coming out of CERN, and how often? Because I understand that the data that they collect is immense, but I mean, it's not. They don't run CERN every day. I mean,
what the fuck does CERN have to do with fishing?
I'm trying to keep up with chat, dude. And we've changed.
I'm talking to Reg at this point. I'm like, what the fuck does CERN have to do with fishing?
Robert, we've changed subjects multiple times. He's trying to keep up with both conversations, which is what an intellectual gentleman will do. So let's do the same.
Okay, let's talk about CERN.
But I understand that they are, and I understand that what we are understanding from there is monumental. But at the same time, it's creating just as many questions. Exactly. You're keeping up with two conversations. That's what I was saying. But it's creating just as many questions as it's giving answers to, isn't it?
I would say more questions. But yeah,
Well, I mean, and I'll wait for his reply. But I mean, ultimately, depending on where you want to go. I mean, like around here, long story short, when I want to catch fish, I'd go over there and get between them two. I would get
how in
between
the
them
fuck
two
can you talk about fish when you're talking about CERN?
because I'm keeping up with two conversations. I would have got between those guys and I'd have been like, no, you're doing things wrong. This is what you need to do. And I would have went over there and I'd have caught a couple of bass. Or if I didn't, or if I just wanted to catch a fish, I would have came back down past the house and I would have went to the river and I'd have caught a couple of striped bass
Now,
or
Juan,
white bass.
I would love to take a couple of these so-called fucking scientists that are working with CERN and just fucking take them down to a riverbank and go fishing with them and catch a few bass. That would be probably the best thing that ever happened to them in their lives. I mean, 'cause they're, the people that are working in those projects are so cloistered.
Hold on, Robert. And, Reg, that's exactly what I was exuding to earlier, and I don't know if you were in here or not, but I was talking to Mr. Worley here, and I was speaking about how the macro and the micro are both so wrong, and that there are so many questions now that we know aren't answered. But the issue is that our scientists that are studying these things still cling to and stick to, they're like, oh, we are 100% right about everything. And the fact of the matter is that there is so much out there that shows all this shit's wrong.
Well, yeah,
Physics in the micro or macro is fucking wrong.
well, you've got basically they're partisan. They believe what they want to believe. They don't understand that everything is interconnected. And there's no other point of view.
No, hold on, Robert, stop, dude, stop. Let me speak, please. It has nothing. No. Let me replace that. I understand that our ability to just look at it isn't sufficient. But what we don't realize is that it's not just our ability to look at it that is inefficient. It's our understanding of the way that everything works off of each other that is inefficient.
But again, hold on. That is the problem. That everybody has their own point of view. We all see, just like we were talking earlier in the evening, we're arguing about something, even though we have the same exact point of view, we're just coming at it from a different angle.
Right. And once all those angles come together, we will understand it.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is they try to say that we are disagreeing with each other. We are at odds with each other, trying to separate us. And it's like, no, that's not true. we can all have our own point of view. And we wind up the same goal, that same point of view, but it's occluded. We can't see it because we have been trained with, how we were raised and what we take in.
What you're saying right there. We were trained, we were raised, and that's why you have to. What do I always say when I get off of these streams?
But we still
Think for
have the
yourself.
same.
Question everything, because you can't think like anyone else. You can only think like yourself. And if you adopt someone else's way of thinking, you become folly.
But we don't have to do that. We can still find the same kernel, the same grain, the same core, and say, this is what we believe in, and this is what we agree with, and we can come at it from 100 fucking different angles, but we still believe the same shit.
Well,
And
believing in something, I mean, what do you believe in? I mean,
I believe in a lot of things. It depends on the subject. But what I'm saying is that when you get down to the basic,
I get that, but hold on, I'm addressing Red here, and unless you speak with someone like Neil deGrasse Tyson, and that's the dude's name that I was thinking of, right? Because for as much as I love and respect that man, for as much as I love and respect his brilliance, he is very freaking narrow-minded. And you see it time and time again when you see him speak.
But no, what I'm saying is we all have different points of view, but we wind up at the core of all of our understanding and all of our reasoning, we wind up having similar viewpoints. We just express them different ways. We view them different ways.
Because we're living and we're sentient.
And
we all wind up with similar values.
To most of us, but it is being forced upon us for that to be divided. That those slight differences, even though we, at the core of our beliefs, are all the same, those slight differences we should focus on. And no, that's wrong. Because overall, we believe the same shit. We're just looking at it slightly different, but we come to the same conclusion.
Well, I mean, anomalies happen everywhere. And what's not to say that life on this planet is not an anomaly?
It could be. But if you just look at even, super close to what we are currently, look at me and you having a different viewpoint currently in today's times. We can have a different point of view, but yet we are having a logical conversation that is not contextual. And we are going to be friends tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
We have different points of view.
Because it's fascinating.
Exactly. We can talk about it and we can discuss it and we can both learn from it, and both of our points of view can change depending on
and grow.
Exactly. We are growing. And tomorrow we will be friends, but we will still disagree with a lot of shit.
Absolutely. We'll disagree about a lot of things, but at the same time, there are so many things that we agree on. There's
but
so many
we
things
are
that we
each
share in common that it doesn't
exactly,
matter
but
on the things that we disagree on.
yep, we're individuals, and everybody should be individual, and we should have our own point of view, and we should be able to state it and be able to have a fucking conversation with somebody in an adult manner and still be friends at the end of it.
Hold on, I'm reading what Reg wrote here.
Yeah, because I'm not reading
He's a
chat.
fascinating individual, and I'd love to. I mean, Reg, and I don't know, but I have seen you in other streams before in the coin community.
I was ready to show up live.
The fact that the universe has more matter than antimatter is our indication of why life is possible the way it is because of imperfection and the imbalance of particles in the universe. Okay, well,
Damn, I'm too fucking drunk to think about that.
No, but I'm not. But that being said, I mean, where did the imbalance come from, first of all? And I understand that there can be radical indifferences in any experiment or any however the universe was created. There could have been a radical difference of matter and antimatter particles. But, Reg, are antimatter particles even scientifically proven at this point? I think they are still theoretical, are they, or are they not? And if you could just answer that for me, I'd appreciate that. But I think they are still only theoretical.
I'm not sure if that's theoretical or proven yet either.
The imbalance came from the cosmic soup of particles created at the early stage of the universe. Yes, antimatter is a proven reality. Even every particle has its opposite. If every particle has its opposite, then where is all of the antimatter particles that were created to the matter particles that have created our universe? And then where is the edge of our universe? And where are the antimatter particles within our universe? Thus, more are the antimatter particles that are within our universe what creates dark energy and dark matter?
Well, can antiparticles...
No, I'm waiting for Reg to respond to that.
All right. No, I understand. But can antiparticles actually exist within our universe?
Absolutely, if they're not interacting with matter.
I mean, that's kind of the whole point.
Voids.
I mean,
there's voids. I mean, for as ignorant as I am, I mean, and then again, that goes back to what I was talking about earlier with the electrons, where is it a wave or is it a particle?
Yeah, both.
Yeah, it's both till it's observed.
No, it can be both at the same. It can be both at the same time, even being observed.
How? Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's what did you say? My brain is not good anymore.
Okay. The imbalance came from, okay, that's what I just read.
Damn, there's so much. There's so many topics we need to discuss. Just
I would
in a
really-
way,
I would.
in a
Okay,
way,
hold on. Okay, antimatter is eliminated when it contacts matter. It also has a high rate of nuclear
But-
decay, and thus
exactly
hard
what
to
happens when
detect which is a
antimatter.
particle,
What happens when true
when a
antimatter
particle is
connects
created.
with matter? You know, what actually happens when antimatter connects with true
Okay.
matter?
Okay. So
Is it fusion or is it fission? Is
wait,
there
wait. Hold on. The antimatter only exists for microseconds, but
but even if
wait, stop, dude. Let me go on to this, because this is very like when antimatter and matter connect, they destroy each other violently and form new particles. Okay, and that's well and good, but if antimatter is not matter, and then is that what would create black holes form in itself to and again in the first milliseconds of the Big Bang to create these supermassive black holes that they are now detecting, that are bigger than what our physics explain, and beyond that. I mean, if it's antimatter, do we apply the laws of physics to them reversed? I mean, and
Well,
if it
exactly.
doesn't, I mean, there's so
It's-
much that I don't know. I would really love to be able to have a conversation with you, to just bounce questions, and I've got a deep
No,
desire to understand, man.
but that's science in and of itself. It's we cannot
Reg,
answer those
do you have a channel?
questions. We cannot truly answer those questions. All we can do is question.
Absolutely, and but Reg seems like one of these guys that I would really like to just. Antimatter is a form of matter. It is a form we don't understand, thus why it was named dark matter. And as for our understanding of the physics behind it, we're still discovering how it works. Absolutely. So, and
Exactly.
again, that explains exactly what I was saying earlier, is that despite how you've got scientists like my friend Neil deGrasse Tyson, who tries to say, oh, there's no aliens, and they can't do this, and they can't do that, and they can't time travel, and they can't fucking wormhole through the fucking universe and fucking move faster than the speed of light. Yeah.
Well,
because that's all you understand.
un-
Am I or am I not right in saying that, Reg? Because there could potentially be things that are going on that we don't understand, that this man is just not accounting for.
Holy shit. Oh, fuck. I'm getting too drunk to stay up.
Or shit to bed, bro.
It's hard for me to stay upright.
That's not good. Reg, I would love to have a conversation with you. I know that the way that I'm asking questions may seem ignorant and elementary, but I'm so fascinated by all of these things.
But it's not ignorant or elementary. Honestly.
Well, to him, I'm sure it is. To him, I'm sure
it's not. It's not.
You can't say that. It's his decision to say whether it is or isn't. But at the
It's
same
not
time,
his decision.
I would love to bounce.
It's
love the
anybody's
conversation.
decision on their point of view. And from my point of view, you are not being ignorant.
Robert, I didn't say opinion. I said it's his decision to say.
So what makes him the be all and end all of what it is?
Robert, listen to what I said, bro. Listen. I said it's his decision. What he decides. His
So
opinion.
what makes
Listen, wait, stop and listen to me, brother. His decision, what he says yes or no to. Can you make a decision? Yes or no to something? Is someone
Yes,
a
I can
dumbass
make
or
a-
are they? Wait, stop, listen. Can you make an opinion to whether someone is intelligent or a dumbass?
Yes, I can.
Okay, now stop. It's his decision to how he decides it.
Right. But my question is, what makes him the be all and end all of our topic of conversation? What makes him the ultimate example or the bearer of knowledge? What makes him
No. As he just said in chat, you are one. Our understanding of the universe is still in its infancy. Ego and opinion, however, are scientists' greatest hurdles to overcome.
agreed? But again, you're just because of what Reg says, what makes him the God of
I didn't ask for his opinion. I asked for his decision whether he would like to speak with me more or not. And I offered that branch out there for him to say yes or no. He had a decision to make, yes or no.
You
It
asked for
wasn't
his
an
opinion.
of what I thought.
Exactly. You asked for his opinion and his
No,
decision
I
on
asked
what
for
you
his.
thought.
No, I
What
didn't
makes
ask for his.
him?
Robert, I didn't ask for his opinion of what I thought.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't. I asked for his decision whether he would like to speak with me further or not. There is a difference there.
Yeah, you asked that as well, but you also asked his opinion.
No, I asked his opinion about specific things.
But again, you are.
But I didn't
Again,
ask for his opinion whether he would like to talk to me in the future.
But
or not.
again, you are elevating his opinion above everything else.
No, I'm not.
What makes him better than you? Let me ask that. What makes him better than you? What makes you think that he is more knowledgeable than you? You are still.
Listen, Robert, if you want to ask that, let's read up here. And I'm sorry if you didn't read it and Reg not. But the gentleman has
I'm not
studied.
trying to.
Wait, stop. Let me answer the question, please, brother. Gentleman has studied physics, quantum mechanics, and advanced particle physics. That is what I am interested in.
I went
type
to
of
college.
understanding. And regardless of what degree he has, if the gentleman wants to say that he studied those things, I would like to have discussion with him. And if I would say, would you like to decide based off of the conversation that we're having, if you'd like to have a conversation with me, that's asking him to make a decision, yes or no. Because I am saying I would like to have a conversation with him. It's not saying that he's right or freaking wrong.
No,
Do you
but
understand now?
the way you originally stated it was different.
I said decide.
You know,
Robert,
Reg,
I have not deviated from decide when speaking with this gentleman.
okay.
Have I or have I not?
I don't know. I'm getting
Or
little-
it's all good, brother. Robert, dude, we're good, man. You know you and I are always good. We'd be doing
Yeah.
this on the couch if I was sitting next to you, dude. There's no worries, there's no issues.
oh man, I wish you were fucking next to me right now. That would be so much fun.
You'd probably freaking convince me to like puff on a bowl. Just a little bit, maybe.
That sounds really good. Hold on.
Nah, I don't do that. I don't do any of that. Oh shit, my phone fell again. My phone fell again. There you go. Freaking choke it up. Choke it up, my bro. But no, Reg, I am really thankful if you're still here. I'm really thankful that you had this conversation. I'm fascinated. I would love to have a discussion with you at some point on a live stream or however it could be. But yeah, I've got
Reg,
one ponderances that
Reg is fucking awesome. But
he said nothing. Let me. Are you looking at chat, Robert?
I just did.
Oh, okay. Nothing makes me the authority on science or better than anyone. I'm just a random Canadian that researches scientific topics on a regular basis to have a better understanding of the world. I don't even have my grade 9, however, I took education into my own hands and have spent many hours in my local library reading books covering a wide range of topics. You know what? And I have as well, Reg, and I have an issue recalling things. I have, where people are like, well, how do you know this? And I'm like, where am I getting the feedback from?
I don't know. It sounds good on my end.
Or I'm getting the feedback somewhere. Or I was. But no, I mean, the thing is that I ain't studying none of that. But at the same time, I have the observation to realize that things aren't right and shit don't add up.
Exactly.
Putting it in layman's terms.
Yeah, you don't have to understand everything scientifically or mathematically. You can see what's going on.
He has it. But at the same time, I mean, listen, when it comes to antimatter, I mean, why would antimatter exist for such a short period of time until it runs into matter? Or is it that it's only running into a form of matter that we don't understand?
Well, antimatter.
I want Reg to think about that and cross-diagnose it, because I understand antimatter.
He doesn't have to think about it.
But I think that there's a lot more matter in our universe that we don't understand. Entertain him for a bit. I got to hit the head real quick and get me into the beer, bro. Good.
Well, Juan, I think I gotta head to bed. It's
Right on, man. Right on.
dude, it's almost 5:30 in the fucking morning.
Dude, it's 6:30 here.
Oh fuck, I gotta get some sleep.
Get you no. Hey, no worries, brother. Get you rest, bro. Get your freaking rest. It's so freaking important.
I gotta go to bed. I mean,
No, hey Robert, no worries. I thank you for being on, man. I'm glad I got to come up here and have a conversation with you. Let
Yeah,
me
Juan,
read what-
I love that you were here. When I wake up in the morning, I'll try sometime tomorrow to go live again.
Well, I've got a long day tomorrow.
Yeah, I wound up. My boss said we're not working, so I'll probably try to go live sometime. Maybe you can show up.
Hold on just a second. The base. What are muons, gluons? I understand quarks. 4 more particles. I don't understand flavors. Are muons and gluons? Is that something that's I've literally never heard of them?
I'm trying to read chat. I don't know of muons and gluons either.
I got you. I'm fluent in typo, Reg. Well, I understood quarks, but I've never heard muons and gluons. Where does that come from? I've got to research that.
Looks like Reg has been saying a lot of stuff in chat.
Dude, yeah, no, that's what I've
Holy shit.
no, and again, and this is why I'm enjoying the conversation, Reg, because I mean, obviously, I'm not as
Well, I want to talk with Reg about that when I'm not so fucking drunk. Shit, I hear fucking roosters.
Oh, that's mine. Don't worry about them. I'm gonna eat them in a couple of days. I don't like them.
But I'm gonna have to end this shit so I can go to bed because yeah,
Right on.
the sun's about to come up, and that's fucked up.
Yeah, tell me about it, dude. Same thing's about to happen here. It's gonna happen with me before it happens for you.
Yeah, it's way too late.
Yar. Reg, thank you for coming in. Thank you for hanging out and sharing your knowledge with us, dude. You're awesome, bro. Thank you. Robert, freaking always a pleasure to come up here and
I love you, Juan.
discuss things. It's always a pleasure. Let me know, man,
Yes, sir.
where you want me to find some flint for you, and
Any
take
type
the
of
weekend.
flint. I'm interested in it. I can teach you how to learn what types are actually good flint.
Right. But I mean, like, if there's a specific area 2-3 hours away, man, I'll go over there. I'll freaking hang out, fish.
Well, the thing is that
Thank you so much, Reg.
even if, some places, 90% of the quality isn't good. Even in
Exactly.
places where there's high quality flint, the majority of it isn't good. There's
It's gonna
just
be
that,
cheap.
there's
Well,
that small portion.
you kind of get a feeling for how to know what doesn't have fractures, what doesn't have fucking inclusions. You can pick it up and look at it, hold it up at the sun, look at it, and if
You-
it's solid through, then it's a
you-
good pee.
You already
not-
know.
Yeah, dude, come on. I mean, I'm not completely freaking ignorant, bro.
You already fucking know then. So send me a box.
Well,
Fuck.
but there's nothing around here.
And
That's what I
even
said.
small pieces work.
All right, dude. I'll look around next time I go to the river. All right, man. I'm gonna get out of here. I gotta go take a leak. You have a good night,
All
man.
right. Good
All
night,
right,
my
take care, man.
friends. It has been a wonderful evening.
Take care, everyone.
Love y'all.
Following that link.